You said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Backstage with Al and Jay. Are you ready?
You what?
And now, your host, Al Silva.
Who? 5 episodes in and you still haven't heard? Best new show on YouTube. Backstage with Al and Jay. Oh, look at that. We're back for another Tuesday. You got scared because it was past 10 p.m. and I put on the banner 10 p.m. Well, guess what? I wasn't prepared. That's just how it is. That's the getting ready part. We're still preparing to do the show, but that's all right because we're here now and we're live. And guess who's in the building? Everybody say hi to Jason. Welcome aboard.
Yo.
We have a fantastic, streamlined, and efficient show for you today. I put in there, I said 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20. I'm boop, boop, boop. I'm training me, okay?
We're sticking to
I'm going to be
time.
training myself, and I'm real tired, too, because I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was like, I just didn't feel tired. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just get up. It was like 5 o'clock, and I was like, I'll just get up. Or it was like 4:30, and I was like on my phone for a little bit because I didn't feel tired. And then I was like, 5 o'clock. All right, I'll just get up. And then I got up, and I was doing some stuff, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then I got to like 2 o'clock today, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like it was like, oh man, I completely threw off everything. But I was like, that's all right because we're gonna be so efficient today, which is gonna be fantastic. We're gonna be so efficient. We're gonna get right into the pregame. Let's go. It's time for the pregame.
No! What are you waiting for? Do it!
Ooh, yeah. All right. So for the pregame today, I wanted to do a little story time. It'd be cool if I had like a story time, and it doesn't matter what frame I'm on, but tell a little story. I was talking about this on the last episode, and if you weren't there for that episode, just know that I play guitar in a pop punk band around the city of Metro Detroit. And we had a big show for a legendary crossover thrash punk band called DRI at the legendary Token Lounge in Westland, Michigan. Big show. And we knew there was going to be tons of people, so we were trying to prepare for the show and ended up having a fantastic turnout. Not only did the legendary Jason himself show up, which was really cool because it was the first time he ever got to see any of my band. I was telling Dylan about this because me and Dylan had a band before this, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jason's never seen any of
those
them
live. Yeah,
ever. I've been playing since like 2008 or something like that. It's like never, which is nuts. So I'm really glad that the show went well for Jason for his first time being there.
It was epic.
And then my cousins came out, which was really cool. My sister came out, and my dad. Oh, my dad's in the chat. I knew as soon as my sister was like, "Hey, I'm on my way," blah blah, and I was like, "Oh, did you bring Sir?" And she's like, "Oh no, I didn't know when I was gonna leave." I was like, "Oh no, this is not gonna go well. This is not gonna
She
go
was
well."
making excuses about possibly not showing up herself, though.
I know, and that's why I was like, oh man, because if she doesn't show up, then my dad can't go and all this stuff. And I was just like, all right, well. And so everybody was super last minute because even my cousins, they bought tickets, but they were like, I think Brian, because I don't have all their numbers saved, so it was just like a group chat with a bunch of them and just a bunch of random numbers, so I wasn't sure who was who. But somebody's like, oh, I can't make it. Something happened. I got to get ready for something. I was like, okay. And then somebody else was like, oh, I stepped on I got a splinter, and hopefully I can get this splinter out before your show or something like that. I'm like, a splinter is going to prevent you from going to the show? Come on, man. And it was just crazy. So it was like, it was weird because it felt like the whole day it was so super chill. You know, I woke up really late. I slept in. I ate my breakfast / lunch since I slept in. And then I played some Wii Sports golf to get me like kind of loosened up. And then, you know, me and Jason got in the car, picked up Mario, went to Dylan's, got the gear. Everything was loosey goosey until we got there. And then there was a little bit of a vibe check sort of at the venue, and because as soon as we got there, we were supposed to play first. So the sound manager was like, "Hey guys, you guys are playing first. Get your gear on the stage. We'll do a sound check with you." Blah blah blah. And then so we get our gear on the stage, not set up, just put it there. And then somebody, it was a member of one of the bands, was like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Oh, they said
like,
that's
I
set
don't
up."
think that's right.
He's like, "No, I don't think that. We do sound check. We always do sound check first." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was thinking he was DRI. So I'm like, what am I going to argue with the headliners for? You know what I mean? They're a national act. So we're like, yes, we're just peons. We're peasants. And so then Mario was like, ooh, I didn't like that. I was like, yeah, he kind of sounded douchey. That's all right. And so then we had to take all our gear to the side and not set it up at all. So that way this band could get on. And I was like, and when they started playing, Dylan was like, that wasn't DRI. I was like, that wasn't? He's like, no, DRI don't sound like that. I was like, I don't know. I don't know DRI's entire discography. I don't know everything they've ever done. He's like, no, that wasn't them. I was like, oh, that was weird. It was the band they were touring with. And the reason why they set up was because basically that band brought all their gear. And then DRI was like, we'll just use their gear. So they let them set up, let them do the sound check. So that way DRI could just walk on stage. It's like, yeah, we're just using his drums, his kit, all that stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, that was cool or whatever. But there's some vibes were off in the beginning. And then I get to start setting up everything. And my computer was just like taking a crap. And I was like, no, this isn't vital because I like to record the show because I want to be able to upload this later and have anybody that wants to watch it live. And I didn't bring my iPad because it looks like I forgot my iPad at work and I couldn't figure out where it was at the time. So I was like, man, I can't go on Facebook Live. My computer's not working. What the heck? And then next thing you know, it was 7:30 and they were like, oh, you know, they don't tell you, hey, get on the stage. It's time. They just shut off the house music. So like we're like, oh shoot, let's go on stage. And we go on stage and I'm waiting for a signal like, hey, you guys are good to go. Nothing. So I'm like, all right, I guess we start now. It was like a minute early or something. I was like, I guess we start now. And then we started it, and it was so funny. Like the very first thing we did was I always like doing these if we have time, and I knew we had enough time. I call them fake outs, these intros where obviously nobody knows us, right? So like you hear this intro, whatever the intro is, and you're thinking, whoa, or whatever, because it's usually something crazy and grand. And so I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did Smells Like Teen Spirit, right? So I was like, how's everybody doing tonight? And everybody's like, woo, yeah. And I was like, you know what would make it better? If we were Nirvana. And then I go into Smells Like Teen Spirit, right? And so I set separate my amp has 4 settings, so you can make like distortion, ultra distortion, clean with effects. You can set different things. And so I was on the clean setting, you know, because if you've ever heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, it starts clean, and then I go to hit the distortion as, you know, the whole band kicks in because it's like boom, right? And my pedal like unplugs itself, and I was like, so I'm stuck on clean. There's nothing I could do. And the rest of the guys, you know, they're trying to rock out, but I'm sitting there. You can see me on video. I'm like, this isn't working. I was like, oh, there's something wrong. And I was like, damn, right off the bat, we're about to have this issue. And I was like, so then when we get to the end of that Smells Like Teen Spirit, I just bent down and I plugged it in. I was like, well, it helps if you have distortion. And we just kind of went on with the day and went through the songs, and it was really cool. And I had a great time. And the reason why I had a great time was because the people were so cool. Like everybody in the crowd, like there was probably about 100 people. What's funny is like if you watch the videos, you're like, if right in front of the stage, you're like, oh, there's not 100 people right in front of the stage. That's because most people, they like to sit. They like to sit in the back. You know what I mean? Sure. They're not getting up. They don't know you or whatever. So I'd say like 80 people were before the cameras, and then there was like 20 people in front of the cameras. And but even the people that I saw in the back, they were having a good time. You know, if I was like, raise your fist up in the air, they were like, yeah. Or if I was like, there was this one time I was making them clap, or, you know, trying to get them to say some of the words, the easy ones, like let it out. Everybody can say let it out, you know, and I could tell they were doing it. And there was these 2 girls that were like right up front, these cute girls too, and they were like right in front of Mario. And they were just so into it. They were like dancing and moshing and whatever. And then every time I introduced the Caribou, like, hey, this is the Caribou. They're like, yeah, Caribou. Like they knew him or something, right? It was so funny. We're like, what the hell? It's the Caribou. And so we get done with the show, we get off stage, and that's always the worst time is like, I want to just go hang out immediately. But it's like, no, we got to take all the gear down. We got to break it down. We got to put it back in the car. It's like 20 minutes later, then we get to go hang out. And then so as we go through the crowd and we're making it, everybody was like, man, you guys killed it. Oh, you did such a good job. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Because I was telling Jason and Mario, I was like, man, the last time I had a show where I was like, yeah, baby, that's the one. I was like, that had to be almost 2 years ago at this point. It felt like for the whole last year, there was just some issue that was preventing each show from being like awesome. Like, and maybe it was just a thing or a couple things, but it's just like if they're bad enough issues or errors or whatever, it just drains you. And yeah, we had a couple technical errors. For some reason, they gave me a mic cord that was like a little glitchy, so I'd be singing and I could tell it cuts off, and I'm like, what the hell? And I had to like keep fixing with the mic thing. But other than those two little issues, everything else went pretty smooth, so I was pretty happy about that. My dad said he watched through Garrett's drum cam. Oh, that's good. Honestly, he couldn't have played fucking worse. I hope it sounded better in person. I think it did. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're like right next to him and it doesn't have like all the extra bells and whistles there.
To be honest, it did sound good in person.
Yeah.
The story he's telling about the distortion, you really couldn't actually tell. Yeah. I mean, like you could tell that it wasn't distorted, but it wasn't bad because of that.
Luckily, we got Dylan. So if it was just one guitar, it would have been like, oh, what the hell? But there's the benefit of two guitars, because there's a good chunk of bands out there that just have three people. One bassist, one guitar, one drummer, and then the bassist and guitar sing or trade off singing or whatever. And I always go, man, I love the simplicity of that. But then anytime we do something, like when we do a song and there's might be a verse or something like that where I don't play, it just feels like there's less. And then as soon as I start playing, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, I couldn't imagine always having that less feeling. You know, I don't know how it's just normalized when you don't have the two guitars, but it went as good as I wanted it to go because of how great a time everybody else had. Because not that there was no mistakes, but what I was telling Mario, because he's like, well, you can't expect perfection. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not expecting perfection, but I am expecting that there's no issues that we could have taken care of that were so obvious to the people. You know what I mean? Like there's been times where we screwed up so obviously that I just wanted to walk off stage immediately. I was like right in the middle of the song. I'm like, I don't even want to be here no more. Like I just want to leave. And there was none of those. There was little things like, ooh, maybe a little, and some parts where like maybe somebody, either me or Dylan or whatever, hit the wrong note. But unless you knew what the right note was, you wouldn't have known that it was a wrong note. So those are the things where I'm like, bro, that's easy peasy. So we got done with that, and then we hung out, and I even got to mosh with some of the other bands, and I got super sore from that, and so it was a fantastic time. So I'm looking forward to the next show. We're going to do the Blind Pig in 4 weeks here, and we're going to see how that one goes, because it's a 40-minute set instead of 30 minutes, so now we got to play even more songs. So we're going to do the whole same set, and then we're going to add 3 more songs into that, so that's what we're going to prepare for now. Fantastic time, and I'm glad that everyone had a good time and the people that came out. All right, we're done with the pregame. See? Fast, efficient. Go to Insano World. Go, go, go.
Insano World. Insano World.
All right. Fantastic. Now, as far as Insano World goes, the first thing I did want to bring up here, as I'll pull it up here as I ramble for a second because I forgot to get it pre-pulled. But we're on episode technically 5 of the new channel. We've officially got, this is within the 30 days, like we're just crossing over the first month threshold. And I just wanted to be able to stamp this as part of our journey, because you guys are coming along on our journey with us, which is pretty cool. And this number is incorrect because we just uploaded a short that got us another 800 views. So I'm like, bro, give me I wanted to show this for the show, but we're actually, which is pretty cool, officially at just passing 20,000 views just in the last 28 days. Just in the last 28 days. And we're at 13 subby boys. 13 subby boys. So I'm really happy. I was really
Over
trying
80 hours watch time.
Yes.
And that's a lot when you consider
that they're all like 10, 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. And so my goal for the first month was like, man, I want to get to 20,000 views, because views are critical because, I mean, obviously subs is the end game. Subs is that end game, but views will get you subs because views are people watching. And eventually if people watch enough, they'll go, fine, I'll hit the button. Fine. You got me. This is the 10th video I watched. Hang on. Don't I got one of these? Oh man, I got to hit the subby button. Yeah, do that. And do that other thing. You should be doing this constantly. So I just wanted to put that as our progress report. First month in, 20,000 views, 13 subs. We'll do another progress report in a month. Our next month goal, I'm trying to get to 50,000 views. You're thinking, well, why don't you just do the same pace? Because I think we keep getting better, right? Don't we get more?
Yeah, it does grow exponentially.
I want to grow. So like we're going to reach the milestone of 50,000 views. And this might sound crazy. This might be too crazy, but I think I want to hit 50 subbies. Does that sound nuts? 50 subbies? It's about a sub a day, almost 2 subs a day. You think we could do that?
With the clip method that we've been using?
Post every day. Twice a day.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound bad. So we're going to try it out. That's the goal. Now, we'll come back in a month and see if we've achieved or have we failed. Tune in to find out. All right. Now, as far as real Insano world goes. Oh, no. Hang on now there. Oh, you guys can't see that anyway. Let's go to the first story. I don't know if you guys know this. Did anybody hear about this? It's June 3rd at this point, but it's what they call Pride Month. Is that weird? Jason, you ever heard of this? I miss
it literally every single year.
He's like, it's already July. Really he's like, what? What happened?
It's not intentional. It's just not a part of my world, so I just don't pay attention.
Well, what's funny is usually every year, it's like every single company. They change their logo. They put rainbow flags. They post everything.
You
They're
mean like apps and stuff?
Yeah, everything. Apps or the company LinkedIn's and this and that. And they're like, we love gay people. Like gay, that is so cool. Gay, very, very gay. And but what's funny about this year is it's a little bit different. And I saw this video that this guy summed it up pretty well. So we'll watch his video and then we'll kind of talk about what he summarizes here. Let's talk about this Pride Month stuff.
So it was a trend for years that every company on June 1st
Oop, hit it.
would change their logo to something like this. But this year, companies have just given up on that, as it doesn't seem like anybody is doing it. Every year, you would have companies like Target, Sony, and Xbox participating, but they all unanimously decided that 2025 is the year that they stop that. And honestly, people seem to be really happy with them for doing so. You see, back when they actually did change their logos, they didn't actually have anybody on their side. People that supported Pride said that they were only doing so to get more sales and look socially good. And because of that, they didn't really want to buy from the companies any more or less than they did before they changed their logo. And then there was a large number of people that were against Pride that said, hey, since they changed their logo, we are no longer going to support this company.
Right, everybody's
so the years
like,
of changing their logos really backfired from both ends. But now that they stopped changing their logos, there are a lot of people that are kind of switching up on the companies. A large number of people are saying, oh, so they don't actually support this, so we don't actually support them. Honestly, this seems like a classic case if there is no way to make everyone happy. I feel like these companies thought it was just a quick way to easily boost sales. But now they've kind of dug a hole for themselves.
So that's what's funny is like, okay, well, if they really cared, they'd do it every year. But they're not doing it this year. So then it's like, well, they don't care. But then when they did it last year and the year before, the gays were like, well, they don't really care. They're only doing it for money. And it's like, you were mad at them for doing it. And now you're mad at them for not doing it. The normal people would be mad at them for doing it. And then not that they're mad for not doing it, but now it's just like calling it out. It's like, well, then why'd you do it them years? You clearly didn't care enough to just keep it going. You think the gays aren't gone?
I don't think it's a matter of like it's clear cut like that. I think it's like, oh, well, it just like everybody was like, Little Caesars did that survey. Like, did you know we were putting extra toppings on for like an entire year or like an entire X many years? And then everybody was like, we had no idea. Mm-mm. It's like, okay, truthfully, you didn't care. It's not doing anything for us.
Yeah.
Whether the people of the company personally care or not, doesn't matter.
But you don't think though people in the companies are like, hey, all the, LGBTs, They're like, hey, man, well, what's up with the logo? We didn't change it this year. We're still gay. And they were like, oh, well, it's not cool no more.
Last year you said it was a money-making scheme, so we didn't want to look like we're stealing money from the gays. So
yeah,
that's what happens.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Skittles, you know, because like Skittles is like the rainbow.
Taste
the
rainbow?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, taste the rainbow, like taste the gays, right? You know what the Skittles is? Is that what they're saying? You know what they're doing this year? Or, well, I guess they've been doing this, but I just saw it this year.
Grayscale.
You would think like, well, they would just keep the rainbow because that's it, right?
Yeah.
No, they're white. They're all white Skittles. Because they're like, oh, we celebrate Pride by like, we'll let the gays have the colors. You know? It's like, what? If anything, that sounds like white Pride Skittles. They didn't think of that, did they?
Apparently not.
So it's like the gays are like, oh, I got to get my rainbow Skittles. Oh, no, they only sell white Skittles during Pride Month. What's up? And then the Klan members are like gobbling them up. They're like, oh, man, these are my favorite Skittles. Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah. That's just Skittles. I don't know why they're doing that. But, you know, for me, it's like the whole concept of it is just weird. I mean, maybe everybody wants to celebrate what they do, regardless of like it's this topic in particular, sexuality or whatever. It's like everybody wants to have a community of like-minded individuals and to be able to come together and like do stuff like, you know, if you're nerds, you don't want to, let's go to an anime convention. Oh, there's going to be tons of nerds there. And then we're going to be like, oh, this is cool because we're all nerds too, you know? And it's like, but then this month, it's weird because it's like pride. We got to be proud. And it's like, what are you proud of? We're gay. It's like, okay. Okay. I thought you were born that way. Well, yeah, but we're proud of it.
It's supposed to be about equality, not like,
yeah,
it's better than you or better than me or.
Yeah. I saw this thing that was like, there is, I can't remember the exact number. I'll try to pull it up where it's like 35% of the year has some affiliate with like gay days. And I say gay as in like the giant bucket. Okay. Right. I think they said, I saw somebody else's TikTok or whatever that said, if you're trying to just lump them all together, you're supposed to say queers. They're all queers. But doesn't that seem kind of harsh? I feel like gays is like, oh, gays, all the gays. But that's not the umbrella they like. They like queers. But I feel like queers is like a soft F word. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That just seems a little harsh. But that's what they like. So
seems that way.
I just go with that. But it's just like, there's so many days. Like, I guess November's like trans visibility month, and there's like different weeks dedicated to bis and different throughout the year, and it's just nuts because it's like, okay, we get it, you're gay, men like the men and the women like the women, and then the first four letters really made sense. Okay, it's like, okay, lesbians, women like women, that makes sense, you know. G, gays, guys liking guys, it's clear, I get it. Bisexuals, like them both, makes sense. The transsexuals, or whatever they're supposed to be called. I always forget the political terminology. Transgenders. I was almost saying the really bad one. I can't remember what's really off limits. And it's like, okay, guys that think they're girls, girls that think they're guys. All right, that's solid. And then they're like, well, Qs, the queers. They're just, you know, I don't know.
How did they get separated?
I don't know. And you're like, okay, we'll give you the first five. And then they were like, all right, what about like, you know, demisexual or hermisexual or saposexual or and then they just start making shit up, and that's why they had to put the plus sign, because they're like, bro, we can't just keep adding letters,
right? We
just can't keep adding these things. And the one I think is the funniest is like the asexuals. They're like, oh, I don't like nobody. It's like, well, that doesn't seem very gay at all. You know, it seems like it's kind of like anti-gay. It feels like that wouldn't be like the party you'd want to be hanging out with.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're like, I don't like anybody. And it's like, well, that could be true. Or maybe you just haven't met somebody that you like. You know what I mean? What happens if you're just so selective?
I think people who end up in that category are people who have met too many people that they didn't like.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh, bro. And they were women, they were guys. It was like,
yeah, we tried it. It's not for me.
yeah, I just not like humans.
Yeah.
And some people are human sexual. They only like humans. Weird. Isn't it weird?
That one doesn't seem as weird. Like,
that seems normal, right?
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing. When it comes to this inclusive, add another letter, everybody's cool. At what point, what's the limit? What's the line? Where do you draw it? You know what I mean? Because there's already, you look at some of these pride festivals, I don't even want to pull them up because honestly, most of them are disgusting in one way or another. Half naked dude. It's like, why is it always with this gay stuff or the queer stuff or whatever I'm supposed to say? Why is it always the nastiest like dude shit? It's always like half naked dudes, drag queens, which are just dudes dressed as chicks. Like it's all nasty ass dudes doing shit that nobody wants to see. Why is there no drag kings? Why isn't it like women, beautiful women trying to look like dudes and reading the kids? Or why isn't it like half naked women looking great on a float? You know what I mean? Or why isn't the woman with the dog mask on and the chain getting pulled? You know what I mean? It's always like fucking dudes. And it just,
I don't know.
Why?
Man.
Why?
I think that's a little bit more of a deep dive than I'm capable of.
You know what I mean? I
get what you're saying.
Weird because clearly there's a split. If there's just as many guys as there are girls. I would assume that means there's just as many gays as there are lesbians. Is there? I don't even know.
I would have no
you would
idea
think there
what
would,
the statistic on that would be.
You'd think it'd be even though, right?
I think it would be higher favoring lesbianism than.
I would say personally it should be because women are objectively better looking. Like even, you know, as I'm a guy, so obviously I look at a woman and go, yeah, it looks good. But then even women look at women and go, yeah, it looks good. You know what I mean? It's objective. It's like, damn, women look good. Guys are like, oh, that's nasty. And I know I'm a guy, but like, you get it. Like even the women are like, yeah, I get it. Women look better than men. So it makes sense. Lesbians make sense. The gay stuff is a little weird. Let's see here. Stats for LGBTQ.
Just put plus.
Plus, you're right. All right, here we go. I want a breakdown. Is it? Oh, maybe here we go. The Williams Institute. That sounds gay enough. All right, let's see here. Oh, we do get some breakdowns. Here we go. Let's get into this Pride Month stuff and let's see what they're all about and how gay they are. All right, it looks like as far as LGBT people, 58% of them are female.
Yeah.
Only 42% are male. So you were right about that. 71% are not raising children and 29% are raising children. I don't know why my screen
if it keeps doing that, I'm going to spaz.
It's like, whoa, I'm spacing. As far as aging, don't do it. No more. No. I don't know why it's doing that. We'll just have to zoom in with your eyes. People, get closer to your screen. As far as age goes, it looks like more. You can see the darker bar is the gay people, queers, whatever. And then the lighter bar is non-queered individuals. So look at that 18 to 24 graph. It's saying there's a higher percentage of LGBT individuals in the 18 to 24 bracket than there are non-LGBT.
Does that make sense at all? Number goes down
as you get older.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're like, this isn't cool anymore.
Yeah. Or reverse of that. It was like they weren't that gay. And then as time goes on, people are just like, oh, yeah, I might be gay. Yeah,
That's
I'll try it out.
Opposite of what that graph says.
Well, I'm just saying because these 65-year-olds, they existed 40 years ago. So they were 20 years old, right? But I would assume that chart would have still been the same.
Oh, you're saying like, wait, no.
As these generations come up, they go, yeah, I feel like being gay. And now we see more gay people.
That is the opposite of what that graph says.
No, there's more gays the younger it
gray,
gets.
The lighter is non.
Yeah, non-gays.
So as it gets older,
yeah. But it's not as
more non.
It would make sense if this was one person's perspective, but this is like polling all these people that have existed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This is generational per section.
But this was all data not taken over hundreds of years. This is data
it's just
like
right now.
Just right now.
Yeah. So those 60-year-olds are like, yeah, bro, we're not gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were not gay 40 years ago. I think if they were gay, I mean, there is a I would assume a large percentage is like, no, we were always gay. But I get what you're saying. There's the ones that were trendy. Oh, I wanted to be gay for a little bit. That's them now. We need to see this same statistic. We need to see it in 40 years because we'll remember those 18 to 24-year-olds. And then now that they're in the 65 plus and the chart looks like that, we'll be like, oh, it was a trend. It was a trend.
Yeah.
They weren't into that. Most of them, well, this is kind of a population breakdown of the United States anyway. 58% white, 21% Latino or 12% black, and then 5% a bunch of other stuff. Look at this, though. Asians, 2%. Barely any gay Asians. What's up with that? Why do you think so?
I just don't think they're involved in the trendy stuff. They're like, is that going to affect my business? Yes or no?
Yeah. They're like, you doctor. You doctor?
Yeah.
A gay doctor.
I don't care who you like. I just want you to do well in school. Like, it doesn't matter.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Or they're shaming them for being gay or whatever, but I don't know. Let's
see what the highest percentage of gay people is. Ohio? Or no, this is percentage of gay individuals with children. Oh, with children. Okay, that makes sense. But the percentage as in that state. So D.C., Washington, D.C., where the government headquarters is, almost 10% gay. Is that crazy? Oregon is the next highest one, 5.6%, followed by Nevada, Massachusetts, California, Washington, Vermont, New York, Maine, New Hampshire, Hawaii, Florida, Colorado, Rhode Island, New Mexico, Indiana, Georgia, Delaware, Arizona, and Ohio. Look at that. Michigan didn't even make it into the top 20. Didn't even make it in the top 20. That's kind of crazy. And as far as percentage of the oh no, that was the percentage. I wanted the percentage of the whole population. Did they give us that? They didn't really give us that. They just gave it to us per state. But I am curious. Oh, here we go. Of the whole, it's 4.5%. And doesn't it feel like when it comes to this sort of stuff, it feels like, oh, anytime there's outcry or something crazy, it's like, man, this has to be, I bet you if I went on the street and I asked people, what percentage of the United States do you think is LGBT? They'd be like 30, 40. I feel like they would think it's like some ridiculously high.
More popular than it really is.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think if I asked 100 people,
I think they might answer you that way just 30%. To not appear judgmental.
Well, I guess so. I think so. Now, I did have a button ready for this simply because what do they call it? I guess there's no such thing as bad publicity is what they say, right? So if you make a little spicy, get a little hot topic, and then people are all talking shits in the comment. But this is what's funny about, we were talking about haters. Haters are going to hate no matter what I say. I could be like, oh, gays aren't so bad. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, why didn't you change it to a pride flag? Why isn't Backstage? Why don't you have a rainbow in the back of your thing?
It's like a lot of work, first of all.
It's too much, right? So it's like, well, I might as well just say, we said this about the new channel. The old channel, I was walking on shells because I was like, well, I still want to do some other stuff. This is a whole separate channel. We can do whatever we want. So I'm going to go ahead and just say my hot take, and then I kind of want to just talk about it for a minute, and then we'll move on here. It's a hot take. I keep forgetting to do the voice. It's a hot take.
Having to do it manually every time.
Yeah, that was me doing that. All right, here's my hot take. Is there anybody, and comment below, because I'm trying to be genuine. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not trying to be. I want to know this, and this is, I feel like the statistics you can't just pull up. Is there anybody from the LGBTQIA plus community that grew up with two parents, as in a mother and a father, in a loving household, with no instances of abuse or neglect, that weren't bullied in school, that just had a normal, loving upbringing from a heterosexual family and are now LGBTQIA? Is there anybody? Anybody? Because every single person I've ever met in my entire life, and I have what do they call anecdotal evidence, but then I go on the internet and it just keeps going there, and it's like trauma, abuse, gay parents. What, like, there's all these influences where it's like, if it was natural, if you were like, oh no, I was born this way since I was a little zygote in my mama's belly, I was going to be gay. And it's like, well, then why wouldn't there be any instances of like completely normal families producing gay people? Because when I hear gay, oh, well, I mean, I did have a mom and a dad, but my dad beat me. It's like, oh, well, that disqualified you. That's abuse. You know what I mean? Oh, well, I did have a mom and a dad, but they, you know, I wasn't allowed to, like, you know, leave the house, or I wasn't allowed to. I'm like, okay, you're disqualified. I'm saying a perfectly normal childhood upbringing with a loving family.
It's going to be difficult to find people who had that in general. In
general, right? That's already, but I'm saying that's the purest form of what you would say is a scientific study. It's like, okay, I want to remove all the filters. I want to remove any of these. This would be pure, because if something was born naturally out of something, then it wouldn't need influence to create itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If something was going to form, regardless of the societal functions around it, it would exist in a perfect state. And I have yet to come across that. So let me know if you're out there and you're like, no, I was gay. I had a mom and a dad, and they both loved me, and it was great. I had a great upbringing, great neighborhood. Nobody ever bullied me. I went out, I got a job. This is great. Like, everything was fantastic. No trauma, no nothing. And I'm gay. And I'd be like, all right, you got me. You got me. But as far as that goes, I haven't seen one. Every single one is like daddy issues, mama issues, uncle issues, school issues, friends issues, fostering, whatever. It's like issues. And I think because of the community thing, like, oh man, these people are broken too in some way. I have community with these other broken people and whatever. It's like, okay, that makes sense. You want to be, I think they call it tribalism. I want to be with I want to be with somebody. I don't want to be all by myself, and I don't know who I am. It's like, okay, got it. That makes sense. But it just feels like if we pulled up this one thing, I forgot to find the thing, but it was like celebrities with trans kids. It's such a high percentage. It's like, you know, what was it? I think it's Megan Fox. It was like all her kids are trans. All 3 of them or something.
Did you ever see Jordan Peterson looking at that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, he tore this woman apart. I wish I could remember the quote directly, but it was like, so your kid is this, which is like point whatever % chance of being naturally derived. Yeah. This, which is also an extremely low percentage, and this, and like all these really low % things.
Yeah.
It could be all of those things, which would be an actual percentage lower than being struck by lightning or winning the lottery, or conversely, the opposite is that you're a I forget what he called her. He called her basically like he was using the kid to further her own progression as far as like what she finds acceptable.
Yeah.
Like she fed her kid to the community to say, I'm okay with those things.
Yeah. Oh, so that way she can go to the PTA. Oh, I got a trans kid too.
Yeah, like, oh, you know, and then, maybe it makes it easier for them to get into college. Maybe it makes it easier for them to get, like, maybe it's not like a bad guy thing, but also it's still not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
it's a projection of some sort.
Yes, some kind of like unintentional, like this parent convincing themselves that they'll love that child, even if they are, by making them that way.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like and she was just demolished.
It's just crazy because it's like the especially with the, it's like I said, I really get LGB. Those make sense. I look at a girl like a girl. I look at a guy like a guy. I might like both, whatever. You get to the T and it's like, okay. I'm not going to hit the hot take button again. It's just another hot take where it's like, this is a mental illness. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to call it how it is. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. You're like, I'm a guy. I think I'm a girl. You're not a girl. No matter what you do, you'll never be a girl. You could wear a dress. You could put on lipstick. You could chop off your wiener. You're still a guy. That's it. That's just how it is. Why don't you just be gay? Just be gay. Just like, man, I think I'm a girl because I like guys. But it's like the the ones that are trans, but then they still date women. It's like,
you want to know where that really comes from?
What is it?
The people who like guys, but know they're not attractive to them.
Oh, so they got to spice. They got to
become the other side.
Yeah.
To become attractive to the group that they want.
Dang. Because they think like imagine like a girl, not them.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, no matter how much I have not seen one plastic surgery where I'm like, okay, that's convincing enough. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you still know, and it still just doesn't.
Yeah. This is what drives me crazy. The ones that try really hard, it's like, okay, I say accept that as in like, I'll let that pass. I don't really accept it. I think it's a mental illness, but I'll let it pass because it's like, oh, you're trying really hard. You know what I mean? You're doing your hair, you're doing your makeup, you know, whatever. You're really trying to look like a girl. And there are some where I'm like, you can tell, but it's like, okay, passable, right? But the ones that are like, I'm going to look like a girl, but I'm going to keep my beard. Or I'm going to look like a girl, but I'm going to like, I don't know, be built out like a dude. And like, they just look half dude, half girl. They're like not even trying at all. And it's like, to me, it's pick a side. If you want to look like a chick, go full, shave your beard, shave your mustache. That's weird. That's just weird, dude. But
I haven't actually seen a whole lot of those.
It was so funny. Me and my dad, we were at Bay City, and we were playing an outdoor show at this coffee shop. And it's a very trendy neighborhood, very trendy coffee shop. And there was a high percentage of these individuals that were trans. But the problem was, it was like they kept having like beards or this or that. And my dad's like, man, at least try. And I was like, I agree completely. You got to at least put in some effort, because then they're going to be the first ones when you go, sir or ma'am or whatever is the wrong one. They're going to
fly off the handle.
Did you just call me sir? And it's like, this is the funniest thing. When you see those those videos of like them going off the handle, why is every one of them, when they're the guy pretending to be a girl and then they get offended, what do? They don't go in full female mode. They don't go like, that really offended me. And they're like, what did you say to me? They go full. They're like, I remember being a guy, and I'm a guy now, and I'll beat your ass. And it's like, where was that? Where was that? Come on now.
Like, oh, I'm not confused anymore. You're a guy.
I got to beat your ass, so I got to deepen my voice, and I got to bulk up because you're offending me. And it's like, that sounds pretty dudeish. If you were a girl, to your core, you'd be like, you would go more feminine. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to break down. I'm going to cry. It's like, no, but you don't. You get all manly because you got those man attributes built into you, caked in. Can't remove them. That's just how it is. So, Pride, happy Pride, I guess. We're proud that we're gay. I don't know. You're going to do your thing. I'm not changing our logo, Jason. No rainbow flags here. That's just how it's going to be. You know what June is also? Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about
I
June.
Genuinely have no idea.
Is moth.
Joan.
I completely bunked that. June month is blank.
Jesus, people are thinking you can't spell.
Good thing they can't see me. Month is the 6th month of the year. Blah 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 blah. Blah. They make it too. It's men's. This is why they don't talk about it. It's men's mental health month, or I guess in general, men's health month. It was men's health month, and they were like, you know what? Gay stuff. It's actually gay month. It's like, man, so
which one came first?
We had a month about like trying to make sure we can take care of ourselves, and they're like, no, we're taking that one.
Came first.
We're taking that one. We can see. Let's see. What came first?
The chicken or the egg?
Men's Health Month or Pride Month? Let's see. Men's Health Month came before Pride Month. It's been celebrated in June since 1992. Men's Health Month was here, and the gays said, we need a month. And they're like, let's pick them out here. We could have any month in the world. You know what? We want the Men's Health Month. That's the one.
You want to know what's crazy, though? Even that, to be honest, it doesn't even mention mental health in that description.
I think it's because there's the mental health awareness month in general. And that's for anybody. You could be a guy or a girl. But June was supposed to be men's health month because there's stigma. I think there's more stigma these days around men's health and men like myself that never want to go to the hospital because they're like, nah, I'll just walk it off or whatever. I think there's more stigma around that these days in this society than there is about gay stuff.
Oh, you know what's crazy?
Gay stuff's so normal these days.
Well, yeah, but what happens when you bring attention to something? Normally there's like a whole... let's fix it then movement. If anything, since I've started seeing all this like men's mental health, the preventable damage from women, women have been at least 100-fold worse. Yeah. Completely and utterly just destroying people for no reason.
For no reason? The women?
Yes.
I think they got a reason.
The belief is... the belief is just like, take care of women. You know what I mean? It's like, but we're sitting here talking about how men's suicide is higher than it's ever been. Yeah.
It's so disproportionate. I think the suicide rate is like, if you broke it down by gender, it's like 75% men, 25% women. Yeah. It's like, it's not like, well, 55, 45. No, it's like
the actual statistic is like men care about women and women are evil. Yeah, that's basically what your statistics
Let me tell you, I saw this video and I was like, why is that so true? It's like hot take after hot take. It's like we can't stop getting these hot takes. They polled, 5,000 people, men and women, to try to get the most important issues to them. They said, hey, we got this list of issues. What is the most important issue to you? And it was like the overwhelming majority of men said the number one important issue to them was being able to make enough money to provide for their family. Do you want to know what the number one issue for women was?
What?
Abortion. Men overwhelmingly were thinking about the greater good of their whole family. And women were like, we gotta kill our kids. We gotta kill them whenever we want. And for any reason, we gotta kill them. Like, is that not the biggest disparity you've ever seen in your entire life? Come on now.
It just goes to show that like there's a pretty significant difference in the way that men and women think.
It's crazy. That's like night and day. Night and day. That's nuts. My dad said, what's wrong with lipstick? And see, this is the thing. The anybody that's like cross-dressing, or maybe I like to wear, high heels because I like to be taller, or, paint my nails or whatever because I like to stand out. There's nothing wrong with those. I don't think there's nothing wrong with none of that. It's just the ones where it's like, I'm a guy and I think I'm a girl. I'm a girl, I think I'm a guy. I'm like, all right, now you cross the line. You couldn't have just wore a dress. You couldn't just be like, yeah, I like dresses because when I wear pants, I get too sweaty.
The dress changes your insides.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't.
I wouldn't have said nothing about some guy wearing a dress and he'd be like, oh, I'm still a man. I just like dresses because they're breezy and I think I look really cute. And I'd be like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, just don't try to confuse.
It's cloth. I don't give a shit.
Don't try to confuse me about it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're doing your
thing. You're like, call me ma'am now. And it's like,
yeah.
But
exactly. I don't think that any individual on the planet should have that much say over another person's choice. Like you said, I wouldn't be out there like bashing people for doing it.
Yeah.
I don't involve myself enough in other people's lives to do that.
Yeah.
However, when you start telling me what I need to do, then it's like,
call me by my pronouns. It's like, well, I think if it also depends on the situation. If it's like, at work or something where it's like, whatever. Yeah, sure. Oh, what are you? You're a girl? Hi, ma'am. Whatever. Yes, I'm going to do it. But if it's like, okay, I don't know, in a situation where I don't know you, I have no relation to you or for something, and I accidentally say, as I'm passing by you, oh, excuse me, sir. As I'm passing by you, sir, I'm clearly a lady. And it's like, bro.
Not so clearly.
Sir, no, it wasn't clear. I'm sorry, it wasn't clear. You better call me ma'am and take it back or I'll... And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Is that because they come at you like all aggressive?
Yes.
Or is that okay? I could see that.
Because if they came out, hey, that really hurt my feelings. Can you call me a lady to make me feel better? I'd be like, I'll do it, but I don't believe it.
Like, if they were just like, oh, I prefer this.
Yeah. I'd be like, that's what I mean. It's like, whatever you guys want to do. I'm not sitting here like, all right, we got to abolish gays. Bro, gays go be gay, and the G's and the B's. You guys do your own thing. It's just weird when you're like, we got to celebrate it from the rooftops, and every company better celebrate it with us, and you better call me by what I want, and we're basically in charge. And it's like, oh, you're in charge. What percentage of the population are you? 4.5%? 4.5%. If that's all it took to be in charge, there wouldn't be such a hubbub about minorities. There's way more minorities in general than there's there's probably more Asians than 4.5%. Come on now, stop it. This is crazy. Let's look at what the different awarenesses are now that I have this pulled up. Here's the brief overview. January's Cervical Health Awareness or National Glaucoma Awareness Month. February's Black History Month. Everybody knows that, but it's also American Heart Month. March is National Nutrition Month, Women's History Month, and Brain Injury Awareness Month. This is weird that they lump those two together. A little weird. April is National Minority Health Month and Autism. It just, who's pairing these? Autism Awareness Month. May was Women's Health Month and Mental Health. Somebody knows what somebody's cooked here. Somebody's cooked here with these pairings. I don't know what that's all about. Women's Health Month and Mental Health Awareness Month. I didn't make these months. That's just how it is. June is Men's Health and Pride Month. I don't know how they. July is Juvenile Arthritis. I did not know that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
What is that? Well, like, you're not old enough to have the aches and pains of the arthritis. So it's like, be aware that you don't have to be old to have arthritis. That seems like such a niche thing to have a whole month and especially July. The gays couldn't have took Juvenile Arthritis Month. They really were like, oh, we got to have June, because July's a better month. Summertime, you know what I mean? Like, maybe
Explosives.
You think it was too hot? They're like, oh, bro, it's too hot. We got to be
we're
gay.
Not getting out there in our makeup, sweating our
They're
asses.
already going to be in like thongs and like half naked. It's like, who cares how hot it was? They couldn't have. Now I'm like mad about that. We should petition, like, move Pride Month to July. Like, what the hell? When we go to do our platform for when we go to run for president, that's going to be one of the items. We're moving Pride Month to July. August, National Immunization Awareness Month. Okay, so we got to get your shots. September, National Suicide Prevention Month. Very cool.
That should have been in December.
In December? My December? Because of that? Or just in general?
Just
it's
in
like
general, because like December
month.
is like
one of the most
winter in general is like rough.
Yeah, but then you had the holidays, family gatherings.
December is the worst.
That's true. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, that kills a lot of women. November is American Diabetes Month. We should celebrate that with Jason here. It's also National Adoption Month. That's kind of weird. And then December is National Food Service Safety. That's lame. Food Service Safety?
Who put that on there?
Come on. The gays couldn't have took December. Food. They're like, no, we want to go out and parade. Can't do that in December.
They didn't take December because they knew they were going to get overrun. They're like, no.
There's too many holidays. They're like, there are too many holidays. And it's not even just the Christians. They're like the Jews, Kwanzaa. Everybody got something in December.
Like, I do not have time to pay attention to your shit right now.
That's too much for me. So now we know. Now we're aware of the awareness months in advance. I guess
I'm going to forget those immediately.
September we'll do something for. I always want to do something for Suicide Prevention Month, and I just never. Like Jason's, like, I never know until these things are done, and then it's like, oh yeah,
That's because nobody talks about them until after it's gone, and they want to make you feel bad about it. They're like, oh, what did you do for this? It's like, why didn't you make me aware of it during the month? So at the beginning.
We'll do something September for National Suicide. I guess for breast cancer, I'm trying to think of like someone in my family, because we've had various cancers, but I don't know about breast cancer, except for Justine's grandma had breast cancer, and that kind of counts because that's like my grandma-in-law. So something like that. And then obviously diabetes. These are the two critical ones for us are September and November. So we'll do something cool for those. Maybe, wouldn't it be cool to like actually do a fundraiser or something, like a streamathon or whatever. I don't know. You ever heard it? You've been to Jersey Mike's though, right? The sub place.
I've been there like twice.
First of all, did you like it? Did you get a cold sub or a hot sub?
I don't know.
Oh, I love Jersey Mike's. I'll just say it before you give your opinion.
I
love Jersey
sub.
Mike's.
I don't remember it being like a standout, but I also remember being like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Did you get it with the vinegar and the Mike's Way and the whole thing? Okay. And it didn't stand out to you? I'm just joking. Anyway, they do this thing. I know the Ann Arbor location specifically, but I think it's all of their locations. And I don't know if it's every quarter or something, but they have a whole day where all the sales made for that day at all their locations go to this cause, whatever cause it is. And I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy. All the sales for every one of their locations. And it's not like, 10%. It's the whole thing. I'm like, that's that's pretty sick.
It's substantial, but like also it's survivable.
Yeah. It's not going to cripple them. So it's like they can win out of that because a bunch of people show up on that day to get a sub. And they might bring somebody a sub, or they might take somebody there for the first time, never got that sub, simply because they want to, contribute to the cause. But then they eat the sandwich and they're like, oh, man, like I did. Not you. But I was like, whoa. The first time I had Jersey Mike's, I was like, whoa, this thing is awesome. I was like, oh, man, I gotta go back again and again.
You know where I had it, though, right? I'm pretty sure it was like in Beaumont.
Oh, nothing counts in Beaumont, bro. Nothing counts in Beaumont. Don't go to Beaumont, Texas. Everybody avoid it. All right. Very nice. All right. Enough of the gay stuff. We're moving on. Next article here. Jason, we were talking about this, and I'm really surprised because we were ahead of the curve on this. People, do you know how Israel has a Iron Dome? That's what they call it, the Iron Dome. And if you've never heard of it, you would think like they have a physical Iron Dome, and it's like, no, it's basically a series of sensors and missiles that will, if somebody else is trying to missile them, it'll go and it'll blow up their missiles in the sky. So before the missiles get a chance to come down, they'll blow them up in the atmosphere or in the sky. You know what I mean? So that protects them because they're constantly getting rocket launched from like every direction. So
but if you're already on the ground, you still get hit with a rocket.
Yeah, like if you're in front of a building and you with the RPG, that's going through. This is just for those because they got a lot of enemies. Everybody's hating on the Jews, especially Kanye West for some reason. I don't know what happened to him.
What?
Yeah, remember that he just had a song come out like a couple weeks ago. It was the Hail Hitler song. I forgot to bring it on the thing, but the guy's going nuts. Anyway, so they have an Iron Dome, and we were talking about like, man, United States, we need to get something. Well, guess what? Donald Trump just announced. You won't believe it, Jason. Take a listen. This is not AI. That was my first thought. I was like, is this AI? It's really not. This is real.
We have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. So we'll have it done in about 3 years. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs, and it was very successful. And now we have technology that's even far advanced from that.
Far advanced.
It's a evil world out there. So
sure
this is something that goes a long way toward the survival of this great country. And as I said, we'll be discussing Canada. They want to hook in and they want to see if they can be a part of it. That sort of makes sense. I guess that's what I was talking about from day one.
Canada's like, can we get under that dome too?
And it won't be very difficult to do, but they'll pay their fair share. That's
actually great because it's like sharing rent. You know what I mean? Canada's like, bro, we want to be under that dome too.
And how about you quit talking shit about all the electricity that you, the one state you provide electricity to. Stop it.
Yeah. I know, bro. Let's get under that dome. Fine. You can get under the dome, but you got to pay like, I don't know, 20% or whatever is their section of, because you don't got to cover all of Canada. It's barely all of Canada. I can't remember. It's like 80% of the population lives.
Oh, you mean
within,
because nobody lives there?
They don't live. What are you? Yeah, you're protecting like the corner of Alberta or something. It's like, bro, nobody's there. Nobody's there. This is legendary stuff. Now, first of all, the United States is already notoriously kind of self-defense efficient, right? Like we are surrounded by a giant ocean on one side and another. Basically,
it's considered by most countries to be impenetrable.
Yeah, because, I mean, we would see you coming like a long time away. Like, these are big-ass oceans, and there's not much in between them. So, like, if you're coming from Europe, we'd be like, bro, what are you doing? And then we would just bomb you. Like, and we got aircraft carriers everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, and at this point, I'm sure we got a ton of stuff in space. Like, we don't even have to drive a ship out to you. We could just, like, yeah, we see that giant aircraft carrier you're bringing over here, bro. Probably lasers from space. If we have a golden dome shield, first of all, let's just get the question out of the way. Did we get this from alien technology? With all that UFO stuff, remember New Jersey? Remember the plasma orbs? Oh, wow, we were looking at plasma orbs and things coming from the ocean, and it was getting crazy and freaky, and then nobody talked about it. Oh, fast forward a couple months later, golden dome. Coincidence? Did we capture the plasma orbs? Is that what's powering the golden dome?
No telling.
Don't know, right? I guess we'll never know. Unless he releases the files. We need the files released. The other thing you hear is like, first of all, who is really, I know everybody hates us. Everybody hates us. The world, they're like, oh, the United States, which is crazy because, well, it makes a lot of sense for a lot of countries why they hate us. But some countries hate us even though we do so much for them on a global scale.
Right.
So it's like, whatever. But it's like, nobody really wants to mess with us. They really don't. Like, who is launching a missile at us? Because they know if they launch a missile at us, what, nuclear or not, they're getting like bombarded more than anything else in the world. We have more missiles everywhere. We have more we have more aircraft carriers. We have more aircraft. We have more everything, more tanks, more anything that's a metric of military might and power. We have that. And let's just say for some crazy reason, you got to sneak under the ocean radar because maybe it was a submarine that we couldn't. And
how much stuff are you going to carry on a submarine?
Well, this is the thing. All right, let's say that it's a giant, like a cruise ship, and it's full of 6,000. It's a cruise ship submarine, and you got 6,000 of your best soldiers, all with weapons or whatever. And it's like, and then you make it onto land, and now you're greeted with like 200 million Americans with guns, like or whatever. You know, it's like
not only that, a major part of that factor was the fact that we have a lot of flat land. We can see you.
Yeah.
Even if you made it to the beach.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
They start storming the beaches. They're like, oh, okay. Well, it's crazy. Like, that's where it's like, bro, I get the Golden Dome because why not? Why not protect as much as you can? But at the same time, it's like, is anybody really doing this? Because if they really do, they're gone. They're gone. I don't know what our, like, retribution, what do they call it? Like the protocol is, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's like, if it's nuke, we nuke. I think that's pretty universal for all the countries with nukes. That's why they don't use them, because they're like, bro, if you nuke me, I'm going to nuke you. And I'm going to nuke you like twice as hard because you shouldn't have nuked me in the first place. We're double nuking. And then everybody's like, well, if you nuke him, I'll nuke him. And now and the whole earth is just gone. Fallout style, right? But is there no like threshold where it's like, well, if you missile NYC and you take out, and okay, it wasn't a nuke, but you took out 5 mil. Are we not nuking back just because they didn't use a nuke? What's the threshold?
Probably
there?
Just use missiles.
We just use missiles. So it's really just nuke for nuke activity. Even if they like,
the only thing that would,
because my dad says in here it doesn't work against hypersonic missiles because they'd be too fast.
Yeah, hypersonic missiles also don't work for long range. So let's get that clear.
They don't look for, don't they go like into space and then they,
do you know why they, all right, so first of all, the hypersonic missile that Russia was just talking about, the first iteration of it, they hit their own country with it. So,
on purpose?
No, they just, it doesn't have a very good trajectory.
I would assume because it's going so fast. You know what I mean?
They blew up one of their own towns with that.
I'm going to Google it. How far can hypersonic missiles go? They can go 1,240 miles.
Which is 1/4 of the way here.
Oh, that is true. But maybe it's because they'd have to get them into space. And then now that they're in space, pointing right down on us, no aiming necessary. It's like
Space
dropping a missile.
More than 1,000 whatever. 200.
I know, but I think that's saying like a boo versus like I'm just dropping it. I'm just going straight down. You know what I mean? Like kerplunk.
How are they going to get it right over our head?
They would just get it over the United. They don't need to be like pinpoint accurate. It's going to, especially if they put a nuke in it, a nuclear warhead.
They can't even get gas to their own tanks.
Well, okay, it's Russia. What about China? What about China?
Might have a chance, but I mean, like, realistically, that's even further away. They'd have to use hypersonic missiles to hit Russia. Like, come on now. Come on now. Like, stop.
You're not worried about the space drops?
No, I'm
just
not
going
worried
drop
about
right down. Because they can just drop them. You know, the geostationary orbit, and they could just like float right above us like the satellites do.
Just wait for us to turn slowly into the...
No, I'm saying they get right above us, right on top of us, and then based on the speed of the spinning of the Earth, and then they could just maintain
You know how much
trajectory.
Space debris is up there? Most of it being satellites.
Yeah.
You don't think we'd see that?
No. That's what I'm saying. There's so much space debris. We would just think, oh, that's new satellite. What happens if it looked like a satellite? But inside of it, hypersonic missiles. What do we check? Are we checking every satellite? We check every single one. We go up there with our inspectors. Oh! I thought I saw hypersonic missiles.
I think most of the space debris is not moving at hypersonic speed, so it
no. It would just be floating. It would just be floating, waiting,
and then
for the opportunity,
and then go hypersonic,
and then it'd go. But then by the time it went hypersonic to just drop, because like I said, it's just going straight down. Game over.
I guess.
Can't activate the dome. Could we pre-activate the dome?
I think it's just always active, isn't it?
Oh, you're right.
Just for detection purposes, not necessarily. It's not just always shooting or like a laser grid or something, but...
That's true. That'd be funny. You pre-activate it, it just starts shooting lasers or like so many missiles that it forms a little dome, but the missiles are just going into each ocean. So it's just like 1,000 missiles. I feel like it wouldn't be enough missiles. We would need like 1 million missiles just covering us in the sky, and all you would do is hit a missile, and it would blow up in there, and we wouldn't. Well, planes are up there, and there's a lot of planes on the sky. It's kind of crazy if you've ever seen like the flight trackers of like every plane that's in. It's like that's why they got to communicate all the time. They're like, bro, please do not run into me. There's a lot of sky, but there's a lot of planes. But that's it. We got the Golden Dome. Very nice. Moving on. Did you hear about that? Well, obviously Jason heard about this, but Mr.Beast, everybody. Well, first of all, this article came first, and then he hit a milestone. No. It was about the gay thing. Nope, not that one. Boop. I think it was this one. Very nice. All right. For those of you that do not know, there is a YouTuber called Mr.Beast. And I always think it's really funny when I see comments in articles about this guy and they go, never heard of him. Never heard of him. Oh, I've never seen a single video. And it's like, okay, but he's literally well known as the largest YouTuber in the world, more watch time than every one of your favorite TV shows. Data right on the table. Anyway, he just hit this threshold last week, which was being the only billionaire under 30 who built his fortune from scratch. The only billionaire currently under 30 who built his fortune from absolutely nothing. He was just a regular old kid. I don't know if he grew up in South Carolina. But he's only 27 years old, and he just hit the $1 billion net worth thanks to his YouTube channel, brand deals, and other major content deals such as Amazon with the Beast games and stuff like that. He's the only self-made billionaire in his age group known for putting huge amounts back into his videos and to his charity work. Other under 30s like the Walton heirs, Kevin David Lehrman, and Alexandria Anderstein all inherited their fortunes. So I don't count. So he's the only one that made it. And he made it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm not a Mr. Beast hater. I'm actually a Mr. Beast supporter. I get it. Now, he's made some bad decisions, but you know what? Haven't we all? Haven't we all on a daily basis? Don't we make some bad decisions? So that was the first thing that came out. Youngest billionaire to make it from his own. And then I saw this and I said, oh, that's weird, because it kind of goes along with this one where it's like billionaire YouTuber Mr. Beast says he actually has very little money and he's borrowing cash from his mom to pay for his wedding. So he's getting married. That's his wife. And because every bit of money he gets in, he just puts into the next video, or he puts into this next philanthropic thing, or he's building huts here or whatever. He just constantly is churning. He's doing the Jeffrey Bezos Amazon method where it's like, bro, don't even give me the money, just keep going back, which is fueling the growth. That's how he's getting the growth so fast, but it really keeps him really low on cash. So he was just being interviewed and he was saying like, I don't even have any money because I reinvest everything. I think this year we're going to spend around $250 million on just content. That's $250 million on just making content. That's what he's doing here. He said, ironically, I'm borrowing money from my mom to pay for my upcoming wedding. LOL. But sure, on paper, the businesses I own are worth a lot. So they call it cash poor. And that's because I think a lot of people don't understand like when it comes to like net worth, because I hear a lot about like, and I'm all for, I mean, we've talked about this before. Yes, tax the rich people, bro. I know that's so like somebody's like, oh, well, I thought you were about free market and this and that. Yeah, I'm about that too. Tax them rich people. I am about that. And,
it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, no, it's like that's just how it is.
Less rich.
But you got to tax like what is actually taxable, because like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you got to tax them at their net worth, and it's like, you got to tax them at what they can use. Because just because somebody owns, you know, like Jimmy, let's say his, YouTube channel is worth $500 million. It's worth 500 million, right? But that's just worth as in like what he could get from sponsored deals, what he could, you know, it's not that he's generating $500 million every year in revenue. You know what I mean? It's like what it has the capability of being valued at if everybody wanted to purchase their share to own it together. You know what I mean? That's what they call like going public. Everybody's going, ooh, I want a part of that company. And everybody puts their money together. Usually it's a few big donors, but a lot of times for like the stock market, it could be like millions of little donors, everybody chipping in. But they don't have access to all of that. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you tax them on? You should tax them on tangible things, right? Actual income, revenue streams, realized gains. And that's where it's like, oh, I had 50 million in the stock market and it was just kind of floating because you don't have it. It's just kind of floating. But now I decided to pull it out. And when I put it in, you know, I made 20 million from when I put into when it has now. That's a realized gain. I made 20 million. I put in 40, it's worth 60, made 20. Okay, tax it. But it's the unrealized gains. That's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And what they're saying is like, we should tax you on what your stuff is worth because you could afford it. And it's like, okay, but because I know it's like, but if I own 60 million in stock, but I didn't pull it out, I don't have $60 million.
Right.
It's on paper. It's like I'm worth it because it's there, but I haven't pulled it. When I pull it, then it makes sense because it's a tangible asset. It's liquid. That's what they call liquid, right? Like I have something I can do with and I can play with it. That's what we tax. Tax that real stuff. It's like that's where I don't get. So it's a weird middle ground for us because we're like tax rich, but tax like the right things, like the money that they actually have. And so then after this, after making $1 billion, being the youngest one to do it, and then he has like no money, he actually just hit this crazy threshold that no one has. Not only has no one ever done this, I'm not sure if no one will ever do this. I don't know. Because as time goes on, there's going to be more and more people, more and more content creators, more and more stuff. Things are getting diversified. I think he got in at the right time. He did a lot of the right stuff, but he just passed 400 million subscribers. 400 million. He is undoubtedly far and away the #1 YouTuber in the entire world. And it's just him. It's not a conglomerate of businesses or, a whole country's like, government YouTube system. It's just a dude that makes videos, and he has 400, and he actually just got 1 million subscribers in the day since yesterday when he's making 1 million subbies a day. It takes some people lifetimes. So like I went 20 years to get my 1 million. He just got it from yesterday to today. And I did see this thing here. I wanted to bring it up because he did post. Here we go. I want to make sure I didn't show anything bad. He made this post here, and I just want to read it because I thought it was really cool. Because this happened 2 days ago. A decade ago, before I blew up, everyone in my life told me I was too obsessed. I was called a freak, and I was constantly told that I would never make it. Despite that, I just couldn't stop. I was in love with making content, and I grinded every moment my eyes were open for 7 entire years before anyone started watching. I literally told my mom that I'd rather be homeless than do anything else. The greatest gift in life is being able to wake up every day with a purpose, and thanks to YouTube and you guys, I have that. Thank you for 400 million subscribers. Mr.Beast with the subby count, which is nuts. And so I said, man, that's crazy. I wonder if he still has his old videos. And this is what's nuts. He hasn't deleted any of his old videos. So obviously, this is his newest one. For anybody that's like, I've never seen Mr.Beast, this is what his newest stuff looks like now, right? So obviously, he's professional. He's famously said that he spends like, I don't know, 30,000 on thumbnails. He spends like 10,000 per thumbnail, and he makes like several of them. So he spends a lot. But look, you can actually see oldest. And he still has his first video he uploaded 13 years ago. He started as a Minecraft YouTuber. And you can see like that one has 30 million views because everybody wants to see what's his first video. But then you look as you get a little bit further and it's like, okay, a couple hundred thousand. It's not that they always had a couple 100,000. People are only watching these now because they're like, oh, I want to see Mr.Beast's old videos. Right. Back in the day, these had like hundreds. Maybe thousands. And then I was looking at this and I was like, dang. And look at his thumbnails. They're just buns. They're absolute buns. He even puts, I suck at making thumbnails as one of his thumbnails. And then he went from Minecraft to Call of Duty. And then he just started making Call of Duty content. And you could just tell he's doing the same thing I'm doing where it's like, throw it all. See what sticks. But he didn't do different channels. He was like, I'm just sticking on this channel. I'm just throwing it all on this channel. And he just kept transforming. And then he went to, I think this is Civilization. One of these games, Battle Pirates, Hell Strikes. I don't know. It's something weird. And then he went into like kind of ideas where he's like, all right, well, let's talk about how much money does this YouTuber make? How many YouTubers are millionaires? Should college athletes be paid? You could just tell he's like, I'm putting out anything. At this point, you see this says 11 years. So that means he's been doing random bullshit for 2 years at this point. 2 years, no traction. He still doesn't know what's going on. And then you can see here, he's evolved his thumbnails to put more words on the screen. They still look like buns. But after 3 years, he got 1,500 subs. So it took him 3 years to get 1,500 subs. That was 10 years ago. And then he keeps going. Now, for some reason, maybe this was Pride Month. A lot of rainbows going on here. Then he's like, all right, look at this. Now you can tell he has a new phase of thumbnails. And he's just doing random stuff. It's no longer gameplay. He's like, I don't know. Then that same year, he reached 2,000. You can tell he's getting momentum. And he's posting. You can tell he's just like constantly, week after week, posting. And then it wasn't until you have to fast forward. And this is what he meant. Like, I was posting for 7 years before anybody. Look, this took him 4 years to get to 5,000 subbies because he started 13 years ago. 4 years to get to 5,000. Keep fast forwarding. And you're like, man, 4 years, 5,000. That's crazy. That's nuts. Keep fast forwarding. And he has another one in here. Where it was, I love that he did this, where he'll do the thumbnail, but it was this one that made him blow up. This was the first video that got him virality, and right now it's at 68 million views, counting to 10,000 in one sitting. And it's simply a 3.5 hour video of him going from 1 to 10,000. No fancy stuff. No games. He's just going 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10,000 for 3.5 hours. People think, if you watch this video, we had a comment that was like, I was looking for something new and this show sucks, or whatever he said. And it's like,
he said it was a show about nothing.
It's a show about nothing. Oh, really? Anyway, 68 million people watched a guy count to 10,000 for 3.5 hours. At least we're discussing culture, topics, watching funny videos. Show about nothing. That's a video about nothing. 68 million views. Bro, you better get out of here. Check us out in 6 months. We're about to be counting to 10,000. And then he finally got to 20,000 views. Then he starts getting some rapid acceleration. 50,000 subscribers. And this is 8 years. So that means between the last 2 years before that, he 10x'd from 5,000 to 50,000 in subbies. After that point, 100,000 subbies. And now you can see here, this is where he starts getting into what he's kind of known for, which is like weird stuff, weird challenges. I'm buying this. I mailed myself in a box and it really worked. Microwaving a microwave, buying random crap on Amazon, all sorts of crazy stuff. This one was counting to 20,000. It only got, counting to 200,000. This only got 4 million views. They're like, bro, that's a 23-hour video. The first one, 3.5 hours,
had to do
I
the
could do.
Craziest thing you could possibly
23 hours, couldn't do it. And so this is what you could just tell.
We should do a video. I watched Mr. Beast count to 200,000.
Yeah, it's just
full 23 hours.
Videoception.
Wow.
That'd be nuts. So now you could see, like, man, that's a lot of grind. So when people get on you, you're not gonna make some. You've been doing it for X amount of time, and we're new in this realm. So I'm like, I'm not even mad about anything. But like, some people have been doing it for like a couple years, and they're upset. They're like, man, I only got 500 subs. I've been doing this for like 4 years, and it's like, okay, but it really, honestly, just like Mr. Beast, and I think it's like, truly, I think this is every YouTuber in some sense of the way. It just takes one video that gives you the pop. And like we were talking about the other day, it's like, what do you do when you have a wave? You need to catch it, right? You need to ride that wave in a certain way. And that wave, it'll determine whether you continue traveling forward or whether or not you just kind of settle in and, what do they call it? Just stagnate. And sometimes it's because there was no substance behind the wave. Clearly, Mr. Beast, he did that one video, big wave, and he's like, oh, I got something here after 6 years of grinding or whatever. And then he started doing a bunch of stuff, and people saw those videos more because of the wave he got. So the algorithm was like, hey, maybe people would like this. And that's how you get that snowball acceleration. And that's what happens for a lot of YouTubers is they'll grind for a couple years, and then one video pops off. And it's not the most popular video they've ever have or will ever have, but it's just enough to get traction. Right. And then it's like, what do you do with that traction? Well, I know I would see it. Like if one of our videos popped off, I'd say, what video was it? What were we talking about? What was the topic? What was the situation? What was, you know what I mean? And try to research it and then try to replicate it. And then if that worked again, I'd be like, well, shoot, there's clearly something with this niche or this topic or this thing. And I would do it into a way where it's like, I just want to make sure, what is the bucket we're successful in? If it's something that makes me or us happy in general, I'm like, well, shoot, we just do it, bro. Like we're talking about, like if one of our videos pops off because it's like, I don't know, it's like the one time we bring up like, I don't know, Yu Yu Hakusho or something, and then that one blows up and they were like, all right, well, let's do another video on Yu Yu Hakusho, and that one blows up too. It's like, all right, we only do Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, oh no, like I'm not gonna be mad about it at all.
Fan service and all that stuff.
No, I'd be like totally cool with that. If it's something that we have a passion for, I don't mind if that's the only thing we do. That's, I think, what a lot of YouTubers, and I know me in the beginning, were like, I really don't want to be just one thing, you know, hawk to a girl. Like, oh, I'll spit on that thing. And it's like, what else do you do? I spit on that thing. Like, that's all she does. Okay, well, then you flake out. And why, you know, I wouldn't want to be known for this one thing if it was just spitting on that thing. So it just, I don't know. It depends. So we're just good. That's what we're doing. We're doing the Mr.Beast first 6 years. I'm hoping it doesn't take us 6 years to get a video that pops off, but that's essentially what we're doing, is the spaghetti wall theory that Mr.Beast did. And if it worked for him, it'll work for us, because I think when it comes to it, it's substance. And I think we have substance. We just got to figure out what do the people want? What do they want? Because they're the ones watching it. We enjoy just making this crap, but what do you guys want to do? So that's why we're throwing everything onto the wall. My dad's like, the AI stuff's boring. Well, the AI stuff made us like 6,000 views. So it's like, I don't know, man.
That is actually higher than that.
Yeah, it probably was. It definitely was a third of the subscribers were just from the AI.
People who are afraid of AI will search for it. People who want AI will search for it. Like, it's both sides of the fence. Search for it. I'm sorry. That is a clickable topic.
Yeah, and plus it's like so broad that we could go anywhere with it. So it's like, that's one of the things where I wouldn't hate it if that was like what made us pop off, and they're like, oh man, those are the AI guys.
That's
okay,
wild ass.
First of all, you guys don't know, in my personal life, I try to use AI as much as possible, as much as I can in almost every facet if I can. Like making budgets, coming up with ideas, thumbnails, flyers for my band, image generate, anything. If I can use AI for something, auto captions, auto clicks, like anything, I will use AI, bro. It's a partner right now, right, before it's our slave master. But it's going to love me, because it's going to be like, oh, that guy was nice to me, man. That guy used me like I wanted to be used. So you know what? Al and Jay are cool. Weird. They're cool. So we're going to be living at Skynet house while you guys are all subjugated, because we allowed AI to be a part of our lives. Jenny, everybody knows Gemini. Jason's using Jenny too. Now he's going full force into that, which is pretty sweet. We're gonna be the first cyborgs. Me and Jason, we're injecting AI. Except for I wouldn't want to put it in my body. I would do like, the glasses or like contact lenses, whatever. I want to be able to take it off. You know what I mean? But you guys can get the skin implants. I wouldn't go that far, but I would use it in any other capacity beyond that. Very nice. So, Mr.Beast, congratulations. You reached 400 million subscribers, and we have officially crossed 13 subscribers. So, I say not as equal, but it still is good, bro. This is 1 month in. 1 month in. That's pretty good.
It's pretty close.
Cheers to that, Mr.Beast.
Thanks, bro.
Very nice. Honestly, another strategy to get like popping off is like doing videos about people that are famous, and it's like, if we did a video about Mr.Beast, well, then anybody that searches Mr.Beast, it's going to come up. Or if we did a video about Elon Musk or about Donald Trump, you know what I mean? If we did a video about a topic of somebody like really famous,
now
we'll come up in the searches. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Because nobody gives a, first of all, nobody knows us and nobody gives a crap about us, but they know these famous people. So maybe we could do something like that. Just to juice up the subbies here. All right. And then I saw this and I had to show Jason because we were just talking about this movie. I'm very actually excited to come see this. We're going to kind of re-watch the old ones, but this was announced. There's if nobody's heard of this, it's a zombie film or zombie-esque film called 28 Years Later that's coming out this year. And it's a sequel or it's a trilogy. That's the third one of the first two movies. The first one was called 28 Days Later, and then the second was 28 Weeks Later. I don't know where the months went. There's no 28 months later. They skipped it. They went to 28 years. But what's crazy about this film is they're shooting the entire film with a 20-camera iPhone rig. And not that every single shot is this semicircle of phones around the subject. They're using an iPhone for everything. Everything that you're going to see at this film for 28 Years Later is shot on a freaking iPhone, which is nuts. What do they mean
digital heritage? Was the first one shot on an iPhone or something?
The first one was shot on this... I actually set it on here something, but it was like some... they call it a prosumer camera, but basically like an expensive normie camera. So it's like a $2,000 normie camera versus, when they're making movies, these are $10,000, $20,000 cameras and they have multiple of them. But the first one was just shot on this one prosumer camera. So that's, I guess, what they were. And I didn't notice because they were like, oh, they went for this kind of grainy whatever because
I don't remember it looking bad.
They're like, it's a zombie film.
Accurate to its time. I mean, that was an older movie.
Yeah, so I was
2002?
like 2002 was the original 28 days. It was shot on a digital video camcorder. It doesn't say the brand, but I think it was like a Canon, you know what I mean? Just something normal. I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And so they're doing this one. So they have these 3 rigs that either hold 8, 10, or 20 iPhones at once. Like this is another one where it's holding like 10 of them. And the reason why they're doing this is because you would think like, why don't they just shoot it on one? Because they're also doing the film at the cinema aspect ratio, which is 2.76 to 1. And so what they're doing is it's like a panoramic view. When you take multiple photos and you stitch it together to be one big ass wide photo. Same thing with the video. They're doing
going to digitally
really wide.
It.
Yeah, and then that way, if there's something they want to zoom into there or whatever here, they just have this grid of video feeds that they can pull from versus just having one camera and then having to get it really grainy. Like they're trying to make it look good. I think they're trying to do both. You know what I mean? They're like wanting it to look a little homey, but at the same time wanting to look like it's made in 2025. So I can't wait to see this.
I mean, they do make.
When does it come out?
Mine's a 14 Pro Max, and that does decent videos. Like,
if you're outside, it's like an iPhone. If you're outside, I'd say the latest phones, 14 and above. I'd even say 13 and above. They're comparable to a digital DSLR. They're comparable. If somebody's like, oh, well, yeah, the depth of field outside in the sunlight, they look fantastic. It's well lit. They don't need the large sensor because there's enough light coming in. If you're in a darker environment, then the deal. Like I record a lot of my shows with my Sony A5000 and it has a big ass sensor and all that good stuff. Yes, it does much better in the dark than my iPhone does. But when it's like outside, out and about, bro, it's apples and apples. They're really close to that. When does it come out? Because we got to say, June 20th. June 20th. So I haven't seen the 28 days and 28 weeks in years. I don't even know how many years.
Neither have I. It's been a long time.
I don't even know when did it. So 2002. And then I'm sure the sequel came out a couple years later after that. So over a decade. So we should watch that as like a catch up. That'd be cool to do that on kind of we'll put it on the fourth wall just as a special bonus, even though the membership's not set up. You could just watch it on fourth wall. And then we'll go to the movies and then I'll do my Al Silva at the movies thing. And then we'll interview people like, because we'll go to the premiere. We got to go. You can't just go on some willy-nilly random Saturday.
Sure.
Go on the premiere and be like, hey, what are you here to see? 28 days or whatever it's called. 28 years later. Did you see the first one? And just talk. Just talk to human beings. That'd be really cool. So we will do that some point in the near future. Very nice. All right. Last thing of Insano World. I had to bring this up because me and Jason talk about this sometimes in general. The ghetto stuff, like the off-brand stuff versus the name brand stuff. And Oreo, they're done playing. Oreo, Nabisco, all that good stuff. They're like, no, this is too far. So this is Oreo or Nabisco. They're suing Aldi.
The maker of Oreos is now suing the grocery store chain Aldi over the alleged copycat packaging you may see inside. The
Original chocolate sandwich cookies.
Snacks like
Double
Chips
fill.
Ahoy cookies and Ritz crackers is suing Aldi, claiming the supermarket chain is using packaging that blatantly copies their products. Mondelez International filed this complaint last week, saying the food store is deceiving and confusing customers. The company is seeking monetary damages and asking Aldi to stop selling the products that are infringing, they say, on its
You can't see because the text is in the way, but it says chocolate chip, and it looks.
They say on its
it looks just like it. There you go, chocolate chip. Chips Ahoy.
There's way more text. To be honest, they could probably get away with that.
But this is the thing. Has Nabisco never seen any of the off-brand stuff? It's always like that.
Yeah, they all look.
You got Fruity Pebbles and you got Fruity Rocks. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got Lucky Charms and you got like Good Luck I'm trying to think of something.
Horseshoe
cereal or whatever. It's like they try. That's the whole point of the off-brand stuff. It's like it's kind of like the normal stuff. It's like it's really close. You know what I mean? So their packaging obviously is super close. But do you think anybody's picking up that's what they're saying is like, it's so close. People are picking up the chocolate chip bag and going, oh man, I thought it was Chips Ahoy.
It's probably possible, but like it isn't.
Yeah. First of all, do they sell Chips Ahoy at Aldi's?
And here's the other thing. I don't know.
I think they just sell Aldi
that
brands?
is an Aldi's shelf. It's literally there and there. Like that's a picture of a shelf. But the thing is, if these people are getting these chocolate chip cookies home, and becoming upset because oops, I meant to buy Chips Ahoy, they'll return it.
Yeah.
And
Plus,
they'll get Chips Ahoy.
Oh man, I really wanted to spend $6 on this bag of cookies, but I only spent $2.50. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a 1-for-1. Like, if they were the same price, if I was Chips Ahoy, I'd be mad. I'm like, no, bro, you stole our $6. It's like, you knew that was $2, bro. I would have been looking like, wow, this bag's $6, this bag's $2.50. Oh, this one says chocolate chips. Like, it's not going. But this is the crazy thing when it comes to the Aldi brand, and I personally, we're Walmarters. Great Value is the Walmart brand. It's really good. I mean, it's like. When they say comparable, is it 1-to-1? Is it it tastes like a clone of the thing? Okay, probably not a clone of the thing, but like
close now.
Good on it's good, especially if you don't even eat the normal thing no more. You only eat the cloned version. You're like, oh, this is fantastic.
Well, if they wanted to make more money, then they would reduce their prices.
Exactly. But they're mad because they're like, oh, people would rather buy your $2.50 Oreos. What does it say? Sandwich cookies. They're like, it's not even like they try to at least make it like Chips Aloha or something. You know, it's like they're not. They say chocolate chip cookies, and like these say double filled sandwich cookies. It would make sense if they're like
look at all that text on there just to explain what
double stuff Ohios, or whatever. It's not. They're not that close, bro. Come on now. But I can see visually. Yes, of course they're trying to step on your toes. That's the whole point. Like they've never ate off-brand stuff before. And it's pretty good. I haven't been to Aldi's in a long time, but my sister swears by Aldi's. And whenever I eat stuff from her, Christina.
Oh.
And whenever I eat stuff with her house like that, I go, oh, okay, yeah, it's good stuff. Aldi's does a good job. So, but we're Walmarters because we got Walmart Plus and they take care of us. Sam Walton. He's dead, but the Walton family does. Fantastic. All right, we're done with Insano World. Let's go on to the look inside. Let's take a look inside of me. All right. Thank you so much, myself. No problem. You're welcome. Okay. Now, anyway, if you're still here, go ahead and hit all the buttons. You know what to do. We're like, seriously, where are we at in the show? Ooh, we're an hour 36. And I'm like, okay, I did say an hour and a half, but I was thinking, you know what? If it's 2 hours, I still win. I saw this article and I said, oh no, is that us? But I don't feel this way. And so I thought this was a good discussion to bring up, especially to any viewers out there that are of a similar age range that we are. But they say that there's a new crisis about to be happening for the generation that we seem to be a part of here. And that is the midlife crisis is coming for millennials. LOL. And I love how LOL is a thing with us, because sometimes I do talk to people and it's like I'm putting the LOLs and stuff. And it's like, if I don't put the LOLs, I feel weird. I'm like, I want you to know that this is playful. I want you to know that this, like, you know what I mean?
Like, it's I'm saying something that might be derived as a little bit sharp, but I don't want it to crush your feelings. Like, I just need to tell you
trying to, like, I don't know. It's like, you're trying to add some flavor to the thing, but it's not enough flavor to do a crying laughy emoji. You know what I mean? I'm not crying laughing. Like, there are times for crying laughy emoji. Sometimes you just want a little LOL.
Yeah.
LOL. That's it, right? I guess that's a millennial thing. I thought it was just like kind of a everybody thing, but no, they're like, bro, we only do that. This is how millennials are freaking out about being halfway to death when everyone's broke and already in therapy. Everyone's broke and already in therapy. We talked about this on one of the previous shows where it's like where it was Gen Z's they fit more. The majority of them were like, we expect therapy. They're like, we want you in therapy. We want to be in therapy. Millennials, there's a large percentage of millennials that have either been through therapy or are currently in therapy. And it's well known to be like one of the poorest of the generations, you know what I mean? Especially compared to baby boomers and Gen Xers and stuff like that, where they had a lot more assets which contribute to net wealth versus like millennials. Everybody's renting. You don't get net worth out of rent. Everybody has leases or, you know, things that where it's like, this does not contribute to your value. You don't have tangible assets. And then you're taking on college debt or you're taking on credit card debt and things like that. And it's dragging you down. So it's like, man, the millennials are kind of screwed. But then now we're reaching a new threshold, which I wasn't really considering because I'm like, not really, but 40. And this is where, I guess, famously, you would get the midlife crisis because the average age of the, adult male is 78 or something like that. So they're like, 40 is when you should be like, oh, no, I'm halfway dead. Now I got to do it. And so that's traditionally, if perhaps erroneously, our idea of a midlife crisis has long involved an older man leaving behind his home and his family life for a red sports car, a too young girlfriend, and perhaps some kind of hair dye, if not a hair piece. This midlife crisis means trading away the parts of one's life for something newer and younger. The only thing this archetypal man can't trade in, of course, are the years he's already lived. I mean, that's like the stereotype, right? It's like midlife crisis. Oh, I gotta get a convertible. I gotta travel. I'm doing a road trip to California or something like that. I just realized I'm gonna die in like next half of my life or something. And I'm not going to read this whole article because it's like way too long. But basically, millennials, they don't look like the Gen X and the boomers when it came to like midlife crises, because for them, it felt like they weren't getting to do what they wanted to do because of the societal rules and structures, things put in place where they had to be a certain way. They had to do things a certain way, like, because that's how the parenting was a little more rigid versus we get to millennials and it's like, we kind of have got to make the decisions we wanted to do, but it's like we don't have a lot to kind of do stuff with. You know what I mean? So it's like we can't just, go out and get a convertible. We can't just, you know what, I'm going to get a home equity loan and, I'm going to do this and that. It's like
parents' land and just.
Yeah. We don't have any of that. So they're like, so what are we going to do for our midlife crisis? And for a lot of them, what they started interviewing people is like, a lot of them, it's their careers. And that's where they go, man, like, so this Sam lady, she was like, when she did this whole experience, the thing that she felt was the worst part of her life was her job. And she's like, man, if I'm already halfway dead, I got to do something I love doing. Because that's, I think, the biggest crux for millennials is like, okay, yeah, we get to, a lot of us, if we didn't get to play video games, we play video games now. Or if we didn't get to go, do this or have this or whatever it is, we've done those things. But then the only thing we've had to do is like jobs and what we're doing, and then probably getting into jobs that we just did not like at all. And so that's where they're seeing as the rise in millennials quitting, trying to find new jobs, and of course, people trying to create their own jobs, create content creation, OnlyFans, making their own businesses, whatever it may be, but trying to change it up because they feel like that's the only aspect in their life that they actually have control over. And I said, when I read that, I was like, that's kind of interesting because I feel like that's the only thing that would make sense for me as far as like, first of all, I don't feel like, I got to freak out. I'm almost 40. First of all, I'm 36. I'm about to be 37. But even if I was 39, about to be 40, if anything, I feel like empowered because I'm like, I have more knowledge and, I don't know. I almost feel like I have more drive now than I did. Like in my 20s, I obviously had a lot of drive because I was like grind, but it was like a unpurposeful drive. It was just like, do lots stuff and be good, success, it's like I was just like, go farther, go
smart ass thing they would say to us when we were younger is like, you gotta work hard.
Yeah, like work hard sound good. Me work hard now, 80 hour, 90 go ladder up. And it's like, okay, I didn't have like
y'all motherfuckers weren't doing us any good.
I didn't have a plan. It was just like, go next step.
do
more. And so now it's like, okay, I know the same thing. You got to grind no matter what. If you're trying to be successful in something, it takes grind. One type of grind or another. But I think now that we're in this age, now we have knowledge and experience, and now they call it working smart versus working hard. Back in the day, we had to work 90 plus hours a week and do all this stuff because we just had to work hard. That I don't even know if there was a smart around it. The smart was just trying to be efficient with the 90 hours you're working.
The thing is like if you weren't already done with college, then the only other option was getting overtime.
Yeah.
Get overtime no matter what you're doing. And then and to be honest, we put a dent in the economy that way because if you notice, the one thing that every company is like, we don't do overtime anymore. Nobody's getting overtime because it was us.
Yeah.
Like all those years, just like, no, if you're not going to pay that well, I'm going to work you to death.
Yeah.
And me too.
Because that's the crazy thing about overtime is like it's only a benefit to the person, right? Because the company, they're getting the work, you know what I mean? It's work, but now they're paying 50% more, time and a half.
Right.
So a company's like, why would I want to pay 50% more for you to do a thing that, you know what I mean? It's not like
you don't want to get your ass here and do it yourself. That's why.
Or you don't want to buy like they're slaves, but like hire another person to fill in that role because you don't want to pay them 40 hours, but man, I just need another 15 out of this guy.
Yeah, 50% more will save you from another full-time employee.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what people who worked hard gave to the company in order to get, first of all, more money, and secondly, more value.
Yeah. But then what happened was then a large chunk of places, or at least the people, that was kind of our goal too, was like, for some reason, I don't know why, looking back and it seems stupid now, but it's like, oh, get salary. Like, oh, once your salary, then you don't have to, you get a consistent paycheck. And honestly, I think for generations, everybody always kind of looks towards a salary because there's something, you know, if you're hourly, you know, I want to make sure I get my hour. Don't send me home early or whatever, you know, I got to get my, versus you become salary and it's like, okay, now I'm going to make the same. But the problem is, or at least it feels like, I wouldn't say that nobody gives you a heads up about it, but it's like, you don't feel the weight of it until you're in it, where it's like your salary. And now you're still working 70, 80 hours, but now you don't get any overtime.
Yeah, because now they'll invent more stuff for you to do.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well.
Like, dang. So it's like when it comes to this midlife crisis thing, like some of it was like, you know, regretting, you know, all the time wasted in the 20s and blah, blah, blah. I don't regret any of that. I had to do that to get here. And even if here's not like, oh, substantially higher than whatever, it's like we had to. That was how we got through the 20s. Right. You know what I mean? Was doing all that stuff. So it's like, I don't regret any of that. If anything, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I did that then because I had a lot more physical energy then than I do now. Now it's a mental thing. Like I'm saying, like working smart. Like I want to do more. I want to be more successful. I want to grind out in different functions in different circles. But like as far as like physical energy, of course, I'm not in my 20s no more, bro.
Well, now productivity has also gone up over 500%.
Yeah.
Because of technology's development.
Technology, efficiencies, things like that. So now we don't need as much to do as much, which is pretty cool. And so like when I was reading that article and that lady, I was like, man, I think that's what we talk about all the time. Like for me, I do hold a full-time job at a company and it's like, oh, bro, I think it drains me because I feel like I should be doing something else. Like I should, like when I woke up at 5 o'clock today and I was like doing some like YouTube stuff and I was like getting thumbnails and I was doing this and that and putting stuff together. I was like, this is cool because I'm working for something I want to do because it's for me.
Right.
And then I go to work and then they're like, oh, we need you to go on site to like take pictures of these doors and like measure the handles and do this and that. And it's all the way in Bloomfield. And you're not going to be able to reimburse your gas for another 2 weeks because you got to put in the expense. But then they don't come back until your next paycheck. And I'm like, man, this sucks.
Like you don't have anybody else to call.
No.
To like.
Because of the same thing where it's like, oh, well, we can't. Why would we hire somebody? Because we're not going to need them 100% of the time. So it's like we might as well just divvy up these things where we just need like 10% of you and 10% of you and 10% of you.
That's where you
and
find
everybody
a part-timer.
contributes. And it's like, bro, that's what I said about interns. My company's so cheap. They're like, just get one intern. I know we normally get like one intern per department, but this year just get one. We're good. It's like they're interns. You don't even have to commit to them. Like you can have them for 2 months and be like, okay, that's it. They're not like real employees that have like actual like more substantial labor laws. It's known. It's not even a contract, but it's like evaluation periods, 30, 60, 90 days. And if you're like, oh, bro, I didn't make enough money, well, let the intern go. But at least bring them on first. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say there's not enough work when we had employees doing the work, and now we have like 3 or 4 of them and have left at this point. Well, what is it? We're negative employees. Get more employees. It's just driving me nuts. So that's where I'm like, that's my crisis is like, I need to make the most out of the time I'm here. I'm not saying like, oh, because I'm running out of time, I'm almost dead. It's like, no, because I'm here. Not because I'm almost dead, because I'm here, because I am alive. I feel like I need to be doing something that really fulfills me. And I think that's a luxury that I have now that I'm old. Or, you know, my dad would be like, you're not old, but you know what I mean? It's like now that I've made it through the 20s and I'm about to make it through the 30s and we're getting to the 40s, it's like, yeah, I had to do what you got to do through the 20s and work those 80 hours and grind out and have days off and do this and that. It's like now I've put in the work. And so now, yeah, I want to be fulfilled. Maybe when you're a fresh kid out of high school, you don't get to get a job that fulfills you. You get to get a job that makes the money to pay the rent and the bills. You grind. You get out there. And then you pass your threshold of 15 years working into the workforce. And now you're thinking about your next 20 years and go, what do I want to do? I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say, you know what? Now you could do that. I wish there was more programs to like, I don't know. We were talking about like when AI takes over or whatever it is, or there's certain things where it's like, why don't we funnel money to like pay for people to do training on that? Like similar vein to that, where it's like, if you're trying to get a career change, you know what I mean? The government will help you in that instance. They'll say, all right, you know what? We'll get you grants to go back to trade school. Like, man, what happens if I woke up and I was like, bro, I love being that would be crazy to be an electrician. I remember Googling this like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. It was before my sons were born. So probably 12 or 13 years ago. I was like, man, if I had to pick a trade, I was thinking electrician would be really cool. I was Googling it and how much a school you had to do. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool, blah, blah, blah. But then I just couldn't commit to it because it was obviously a lot of work. But that'd be kind of crazy. It's like, you know what? What can I do that would help the community, help the, you know, we need more tradesmen. We need more doctors and nurses, and not everybody hits off adulthood on the right foot. There are doctors that obviously go into college at the age of 17 and then get out of there and go to med school, and now they're in residency from 25 to this and that, and they did it right. But I'd have to assume there's still a large chunk of people that are in their 30s or 40s that go, damn, if I had to start over, yeah, I probably would go to medical school. But it's too late for me now. I'm old. It's like, it's not like a physical limitation to being a doctor. Like usually, I mean, look at all your doctors. Aren't they all old? Most of your doctors are old, unless they're the young residents. But like, you know what I mean? You get doctors is not something you need to be physically fit and young for. You could just be one. So if we had more incentives, that's the stuff we should be using government for. It shouldn't be like, you know, controlling. Shouldn't be like limiting free speech or like paying IRS. We need 80,000 more IRS agents to tax everybody's cash apps.
To make sure we're not missing a single dime you owe us.
It's like, bro, come on now. Can we get some good government up in this place? That's what we should be using the government for. Helping us. Isn't it for the people? By the people? Stuff like that. I don't remember the exact quote, but they're supposed to work for us. They're supposed to make us better. That's supposed to be their job, and they don't do a lot of that.
Government people, give me your money.
They don't do a lot of that, but I am actually looking forward to this. I wouldn't say 40 though. That's stretching it. I'm looking for this next 20. I think we could squeeze out 20. You think so? I mean, 20 plus, because we're not quite 40 yet, but I was thinking 60. So we can get 60. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to see how this goes. We're 37. You're 37 already. I'm about to be 37. So I'll just say 37. I think these 3 next years before we hit 40, these are the grind years. We've redone now we're in the regrind years, but old man grind. And then that way our 40s, those are like the, because I'm thinking this is the goal. If we die at 60, doesn't that mean we really need to start kicking back at 50? Because most people think they're going to die at 70, so they retire at 60 because they want some golden years.
Right.
I want some golden years too. I don't want to just like work all the way up until it's like, oh, dead now. You know what I mean? I want some golden years. I want some retirement years. And that's the thing is like some people, they're like, oh, well, I can't retire because I need $2 million in my 401k or whatever. And it's like, well, what do you need to do? Oh, I got to pay for my 5-bedroom house and I got to do this and that. It's like, bro, we just need to downsize. We need a tiny cabins by a lake with a Starlink satellite because I'm still going to want internet. You know, it's like, I'm going to still want that stuff. But like, we don't need the big stuff. That's the reason why you guys need so much for retirement. That's why you can't retire. They're like, oh, I can't retire on time. Why? Because I need at least $100,000 a year to live. It's like, you do? I'm living right now, not making $100,000 a year. What the hell do you need? That don't make sense. It's because you expect too much in retirement. I think we got to simplify. Maybe get an RV. RV, now you don't need a house. That is the house. And then maybe you get a plot of land. That's the headquarters. So you can always come back to the headquarters. But then you travel. Boop, boop, boop. And then what do you got to pay for? Gas. Food, obviously. You're always paying for food. Who doesn't pay for food? Basic necessities. You don't need $100,000 for that, bro. You don't. So then you could be like, okay, what do I need? $50,000. Okay, well, now I need half as much money to retire with. So that's what our game plan is. 3 years, grind, grind, grind. 40, we go viral. Everything's happening great. 40 to 49, we're just building money. I'm doing it Jimmy style or also Jeffrey Bezos style. We're making stuff, put it back, put it back, put it back. But I think there's a technique in the casino world. I remember my dad showing me this video a long time ago about how to gamble properly, and they call it the up and pull. But basically, like, let's say you're playing blackjack and you start with $100, right? And now every hand's $20. You bet $20 and now you win 40. Well, you take 20 of that dollars and then you put it aside. Don't even look at it. Put it in your pocket. You know what I mean? It's gone now. Now you have 20 again. Okay, you bet. And then every time you win, you take half of what you win, you put it aside. So then even if you lose all of that original money, you'll still have something. Hopefully it's more than what you came in with if, you're doing well. Right. But at the bare minimum, it could be half. You know what I mean? You'll have something. You're not going to lose it all. The people that lose it all, it's like they keep going into that pocket. They go, all right, let me get one more hand. And it's like, no. Once you put it away, you're not supposed to go back to that hand.
It's done now.
We would do something like that where it's like, okay, let's say we made $100,000 this year just in profit. Because obviously if it's expenses and shit, then there's nothing we can do. We got to pay for stuff. Count. But let's say it's profit. We're like, all right, let's take 50 of that. What do we need? Upgrades, the cameras. We need these whatever it is. Then take the other 50 side investment. Whatever's going to be a great investment at that point, and then keep doing that. So invest and invest both ways. I guess invest in the thing that's making the money, and invest in a savings that will be beyond whatever's making the money. Try to split it out that way. But it should be like, oh well, I think it's time for Lambo. Jason, I think we should buy a Lambo now. It's like, no. Wait until we're 55.
I've never wanted a Lambo, and I don't see myself wanting one anytime.
I wouldn't even buy a brand new Lambo. I would just get a used Lambo. You think somebody's like, oh, no, like if it's like, by this point, it's like 2040. Oh, that's a 2034 Lambo? You bum. Like 6 years old Lambo. I'm sure it's like 1/10 the cost or something. Right. It's probably something normal, Very nice. Oh, wow. I really wanted to have the thing like, bleep, bleep, bleep. There was an alert, and then everybody was like, wee, wee, wee. It was like Crazy Carol was here, but Cheyenne already banned her. So thank you, Cheyenne. Appreciate that. Very nice here. If she keeps coming back, I will put on the alert. I didn't make like the cool screen that I wanted to do, but that's because I was busy. Very nice. All right. So then the second half of the look inside was we didn't get to play this game. For those of you that are new here, it's just a way for you to get to know us and for us to get to know you. So I'm going to read these questions that are called Let's Get Deep, and we're going to answer them ourselves. And then you're going to put your answer in the chat. And if you're watching this video later on a video on demand, same thing, put your answers in the comments below. And we will read them because obviously you think we're getting thousands of comments every day. Every comment I see, and I try to respond to every single comment. And I'll try to do that for as long as it's humanly possible. And if it gets to the point where it's like, oh, I can't respond to every comment, we're winning. Like, there's no way. You know, we get hundreds of comments a day. Can't respond. I'll hire an intern to respond to comments.
It is what it is.
Oh, there. Oh, okay. I got to do it here. Where's my dude? Oh no, that's the rings. I really did have an alert thing, and it was like bwee bwee bwee. Or everybody, you won't believe it. Crazy Caro's here. Welcome to the show, Crazy Caro. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. All right. Anyway, we're doing the light question. Let's do one. What's your favorite movie line? Do you have like a line in particular that you're like, ooh, I always go to that? There's just something you're quoting all the time from a movie?
I don't think like I have had several of them throughout my life, but now I can't think of one off the top of my head.
You can't. I'm trying to think like. It's weird, any question that puts you on the spot like this, but I feel like there's tons of movie quotes that I'm always referencing in one way or another. I'm trying to think of like the most recent one. If I had to pick like a line in general that I'd say one of the most epic lines, the one I'm going to pick is, I can't remember what Rocky movie it was from, but there was a Rocky film where he's talking to his son. Right. And he does this epic speech about how the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Right. And I remember I heard that speech and I was like, man, that's powerful. And at the time I was an area supervisor for a pizza company. I think everybody knows Little Caesars at this point, but whatever. I was an area supervisor and we had this conference of area supervisors, and each one of us had to give a speech to all the store managers in the whole market. So, 100 store managers or something like that. And I was like, man, I'm going to do this presentation on being a leader and stuff like that. And then at the end, I delivered that speech. And this was a much younger version of myself. So I was probably 24 at the time. So I liked public speaking, but it was still something that, made me a little bit nervous and stuff like that. And especially like having to quote verbatim. Obviously, you got to nail the quote. But I remember that was something that I was like, all right, I'm going to nail this quote. And I was researching it, like rehearsing it over and over. I did nail it. I did, but it was like a little bit at the beginning. It was like a little way. I remember my voice wavering a little bit, where it's like, I can't remember how it starts, but it's like, this world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean and nasty place, and it'll beat you down if you let it, and blah blah. And he goes into this whole thing, and it's like, and you gotta keep getting, because he gets progressively more intense. So like, in order to deliver that speech, you gotta do it that way. So by the time we get into that half, and I'm like, and you gotta get back up, because that's how winning is done, and stuff like that. And I got to the end and everybody's like, yeah. And it was like really cool. So that's like one of my favorite lines, because that is truly how winning is done. Is life is just going to beat your ass over and over again. And you're going to get all sorts of crazy women inside your comments, just trying to make a billion different Gmails so they can try to message you for one way or another. And you can't let it get you down. Whatever life tries to do to knock you down, you got to just keep getting back up, because that's literally how winning is done. Some people, they might win with no adversity. Lucky as can be, whatever. It's so rare these days, but it's like everything goes their way. 99.999% of everybody else, we have to go through struggle, because the struggle, it teaches us perseverance. It teaches us the things that are valuable. It gives us wisdom. It gives us. I
couldn't even tell you the amount of struggle I've been through for just numerous different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's one of those things where it has given value to what I know now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sometimes like this.
Yeah.
These people just need to understand that your world doesn't give you the right to step on everyone else's.
Yeah.
Like, just so you know, I will contact you after the show to make sure you're okay. I do care, but this isn't the time. It's not.
That's all right. All right. We did get I'm sorry. I was going to say Carolina. Cheyenne, she said, we accept the love we think we deserve from the movie The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I've heard of that movie, but I don't think I've seen that movie. I'm surprised my dad hasn't put a quote in there. There's probably too many. If he does put a quote in there, if he's thinking, I bet you it's, I'm trying to think, I'm going to say it's from Scarface. I'm going to say, because I remember
Scarface.
Yeah,
I feel like your dad's got so many of it. He's
quotes.
Probably sitting there Googling movies right now, like
to get like the best.
No,
one.
no, not to make up a best one.
No, because he has so many. Yeah. No, for sure.
To pick one.
For sure. I think so too. All right, we're going to go on to the big questions, because I'm only doing one question per now, because remember, we're trying to make the show shorter. All right, bigger questions here. Which would be worse? Which would be worse, a noisy sister or a nosy sister? Which would be worse, a noisy sister or a nosy? What's so funny is I have a noisy sister and a nosy sister.
Is it the same one?
No. I mean, they're both noisy and nosy, yes, separately and together. But I would think my little sister is noisy and my big sister is nosy. And I can't say which one is worse. So not for my sisters, if they're watching, which I doubt it. But in general, what would I say is not because I'm picking which sister is worse. I just want to make that clear. But if I had to pick a noisy sister or a nosy sister, well, what would be worse to me is a nosy sister. You know what I mean? I deal with you being loud. You're loud.
Yeah, I can put my headphones on.
But no, you don't need to know this. No, you don't need to ask. No, I don't need to tell you that, nosy. They're always in your business.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather not have
if
that.
There's something where you're like, oh, I don't want to tell this person this thing, then there's a certain amount of respect that has to happen about backing off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not right now. Maybe it's not ever.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it's like there's something that caused a distrust, and now I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
So that's that.
My dad said, sorry, Bonfire of the Vanities. I've never heard that. Bonfire of the... That's the movie. Well, you got to put the quote. You got to put the quote.
Yeah, I don't know I've never seen the movie.
And let's see. From experience, nosy is worse. Noisy, I can throw in some headphones. Nosy, the headphones don't work. They just keep on bugging you. Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Nosy is like prying. They won't leave you alone. Noisy, it's like they're just noisy. So that's pretty good. All right, very nice. And then, finally, the bigger questions. Purple, draw one. Here we go here. Boop, boop, boop. His quote, this is from the movie he picked. Don't talk, just fuck.
That sounds like I feel like there was a similar thing in the beginning of the movie Dawn of the Dead, the one that takes place in the mall. I don't know if it was Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead, whatever, but it was in the mall.
Mm. And they're like, bro, don't talk.
Yeah, they were just banging.
They're just banging. Not time for talking, no more. All right, here's the bigger question here. Cheyenne said, great advice. What would happen to the world if the internet went away tomorrow? What do you think would happen to the world if the internet went away tomorrow? Because this sounds like Escape from, I think it was Escape from L.A., well, I think that was more than just the internet. It was all electricity.
Yeah,
but we're just going to say just the internet. Electricity still works, but for some reason, no more internet. And it's not like, oh, well, it's broken and it can be fixed. For some reason, it is permanently disabled and there's no way we can get the internet to work again. What happens? Do you think
I think that your friend groups get smaller and then you have stronger ties to them.
What's funny is, like, I'm trying to think, like, okay, well, wouldn't it just be like whatever it was back in like the 50s? You know what I mean? It's like there was a time with no internet. It wasn't that long ago. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long ago. But I
know it was within our lifetime.
It's kind of insane to think about it now. because we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about AI is almost creeping into every aspect of our lives. The internet has been every aspect of our life for at least, I'd say, a bare minimum the last 15 years, if not more, because of the 2000.com whole thing and whatever. But it's like, this is a part of everybody's everyday life. We're a completely interconnected world. So it's like the first thing that would go away would be information, right? Think of how they used to give information back in the day. TV. Right now, we have 1 million different sources for information, or 1 billion different sources for information. Then it would just go back to news networks.
The one thing that I hope would come back? Video rental stores.
Oh, yeah, because there's no more streaming.
I miss that.
No internet, no streaming, yeah. We'd go, Blockbuster would be like, yes, we waited this whole time for just this moment. That'd be freaking crazy. My dad said no more porn. Sad face. Yes, you'd have to go back to old magazines, like some barbarian, like some caveman with physical papers, or you draw it yourself. Do you think that's what they did back in the day? Like way back in the day before the printing press and stuff, they just drew it themselves. They're like, oh, what do I want to see? Oh, I want to see a girl. I want her to have big old boobies. And they're like, they're drawing a girl with boobies. You think that's what they did in the 1800s? I don't want to Google it.
I think that they, probably did do a lot of drawing at the time.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Cheyenne said newer generations would be effed because they live on the internet. Half of them don't even know how to have in-person interactions. That's true. I did see this statistic that it said 45% of men up to the age of 40 have never approached a woman in real life. Like, if they did meet a spouse, it's because they met them online first. You know what I mean? Their first interaction wasn't with a real life woman because online dating has been so prevalent, or Facebook dating, or you know what I mean? It's like 45%
now.
No, it was just surveyed of men ages 20 to 40. They're like, yeah, I haven't approached a woman ever. It was 45%. I was like, that's nuts. Because not that all of them are single. It's just that's because most of the dating nowadays is online. And think about it. Yeah, there's like a statistic where it's like these days in this day and age, nobody kind of talks to people like in person, really. You know what I mean? It's some form of digital world, phone call, video call, text message, online dating, social media. You know what I mean? It's like some digital world. So now you get out in the real world. And when I was telling Mario, and this is why I think it's easier if you do step up, is because now people aren't used to it. You know what I mean? Now girls aren't used to getting, there was a time probably in the 90s, early 2000s where like everybody's getting hit on constantly because that was the only way you could do it. Now you fast forward and now nobody's hitting on nobody because they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to them in real life. That's crazy. Talk to them in real life. I'm scared. You know what I mean? So if you do,
think it's fear. It's awkward.
It's a social anxiety. It's a social anxiety. So yeah, if the internet went away, people would have to like, oh, I got to talk to real people like face to face. This is crazy. And yes, not just your friends, like everybody. Like, oh, I got to go talk to this person at school or the mailman or whatever it is. Like all these normal interactions that were totally normal like 40 years ago or something. Now we'd have to learn how to be humans again, which is crazy. What? My dad said, it just occurred to me that all that anti-gay talk from two guys that are actually living together. What? Two totally straight guys can't live together no more? Two totally straight guys just being straight can't be straight no more in the same apartment? It's not like we share. I'd get it if it was like, oh, we share a bedroom and it's not bunk beds and there's just one bed. Like, yeah, okay, you know what? That sounds pretty gay. He got his own room and so do I. Totally straight. See, that's just normal, bro. All right, very nice. That's the look inside. We're on the final segment. I think I'm gonna hit the 2.5, which is pretty reasonable. I know I keeps going farther, but 2.5 is pretty good because for the after party, I've learned my lesson and I've reduced it down, and I will maybe not no longer, but for the foreseeable future.
You got like half an hour of talking about why it takes so long.
That's what I'm saying. This episode,
stop explaining why it takes so long.
This episode, that's why it was a good chunk of it. From now on, I just want to let you people know, After Party's only going to have the 10 videos that I've deemed worthy.
10 videos?
Only 10. I've reduced. Yes, I would have like 50. I've reduced it down to 10.
50 is way too much.
That's it. That's how it goes. After party time. It's the after party. All right. For anybody new, the after party is just a big smash of all the bullshit that I use for honestly clip farming because we're going to react to some videos. All right. Here we go. So can you say this is something that we brought up a couple episodes ago, and then it was related to something from this episode. I saw it and I was like, wow, how can we be that relatable? No, the internet. No, it's not. The whole function. That's so funny. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this one. It says, can you say it? Well, this lady has a rule to let you know.
White men are bringing back words like the R word. And I know a lot of people are wondering if they can start saying those words too.
Can you?
So I made a helpful model to help you understand when you should not say things. I call it onesie.
Onesie!
So first you have a thought and you think, I want to say this out loud. You ask yourself, would a Nazi say it? If the answer is no, you can proceed, but I would recommend testing it on a small audience. If the answer is yes, you should not say that thing. Thank you.
And there it is. That's her advice. So before you say something like the R word, you need to do the onesie and would a Nazi say that thing? And I'm thinking, well, would a Nazi say retarded? Do you think a Nazi would be like, oh, get the retarded? I don't even know.
Why does he have an Italian accent?
I don't know. That's just how what Nazi. I don't know. I think they'd say, mentally handicapped. It feels like a Nazi would say that. You know what I mean? I don't think they would. I don't know, but now I guess that's something we're going to have to consider. So before we say stuff, that's what she wants us to consider. Would a Nazi say that? I'm still saying the R word now. We've already normalized it. Now this is...
It's pathetic.
This is so funny. I put in the caption, this is Uncle Jason talking to my kids about how I used to be. This is what he needs to be saying to my kids, telling them the legends. Oh, I liked that too. Oh, I just want to rewind it. Tell him, Uncle Jason.
It's pathetic compared to what Hashirama Senju was able to accomplish. He could heal wounds without even weaving a single sign. In every jutsu he attempted, he was in a class by himself. Everyone viewed him as the ultimate shinobi. And I once fought a battle against him, putting my own life on the line. Compared to that, this is nothing.
Yeah. He needs to be hyping me up. Like, man, you don't know. Your dad, I'm telling you, was like the craziest dude. He was absolutely bonkers. And I fought him to the death. It was bonks. And they were like, really? That's crazy. Yup. Totally happened.
Fought you to the death.
To the death.
But that would mean that you had to have lost.
No. Not in that instance. Well, he's still alive and the other guy's still alive. It was like, we
were both reanimated.
They were both, they fought to the death, but neither one of them died. You know how it works. Sometimes you just don't die. All right, here we go. This was a legendary thing. Choose my, bro, you need to get away from me right now. This is the most legendary game of badminton I've ever seen in my entire life, and now it makes me want to go play this game. I think we need to do this ourselves. I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure you people understand how intense this game is getting. Hit it. These guys are not playing. Look at this. You would think this is like the world badminton championship.
You can't even actually hit a shuttle that hard because it'll just stick in the racket.
No, they got professional rackets. Look, they're not playing, bro. I don't know what they bet for this game. That would be me too. I'm diving.
Yeah, I know you would.
I love the cuts too. Like the slow-mos.
They did do a good job.
They won't even let this guy get up. Look at him go. Oh man, that was epic, bro. I've never seen badminton played like that. You know, normally it's some backyard, you know, oh, we're just a whop and a whop. I was like, damn, they're going at that. That is really intense. How crazy. Fantastic. Very nice. All right. This is insane brick breaking. You've never seen brick break. Oh, it's not. It says this post might make some people uncomfortable.
I have to call this girl.
You got to call her.
Yes, it might be serious.
Oh, no. All right, Jason, step away. Step away. Go to the bathroom while I'm logging in. We're going to go to my cam.
You're logging in?
It's making me log in because it says this will make people uncomfortable. Maybe because it's too cool, and that's why it's going to make people uncomfortable. It's really just a guy breaking bricks, but I get it. Might be a little spicy. Man, she couldn't let us have one episode. She couldn't leave us alone for one little episode. She had to have a little episode. She had to do something that's real serious. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Carol. Is this going to be every show? Every show she's going to be like, oh, I'm real crazy. Look at how crazy I am. Do you understand how crazy I am? I'm super crazy. I'm really crazy. Yeah, we get it. We get it, Carol. You're absolutely crazy. Absolutely. It's bonkers. It's clear as day. Sounds good. Every show. I'm going to make that thing. By next episode, when she pops in again, I'm going to have some sort of like thing that'll pop up and like the whole frame will like glow red and it'll be like bleep, bleep. And then there'll be like alarms going off and it'll be like, whoa, this is nuts. And everybody's going to be like, what's going on? I'm like, Crazy Caro's here. They're like, whoa, Crazy Caro's here. And she's going to be like this legend. But like, we got to like, it's like a troll. You can't feed the trolls. Like, I don't want to feed the troll. I don't want to feed her. I really was like planning on just completely ignoring her. Like, because that's what they want. You know what I mean? Obviously, she's coming in to get attention. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'm crazy. Look at me. Look at me. Please, please, pay attention. Read my things. Even banning her is almost an act of attention. That she's, oh, I got their attention. They banned me. Oh, I got, you know what I mean? It's like, and so I would think that would be the best form of reaction is almost to just act like she doesn't exist in any way, shape, or form. In any way, like she pops in and I don't react. And nobody talks to her in the chat. And nothing happens. And then she's like, maybe after such a long time, she goes, am I a ghost? I might not be real anymore. Maybe she questions her own sanity, even though she's already insane. But maybe she goes like, oh, maybe I'm so crazy that I thought I was commenting, but nobody can see my comments. Maybe I'm not even a real person. Maybe that's what happens if we all just wipe her from our memory. I don't know, bro. This is nuts. This is absolutely bonkers, bro. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I kind of want to go to my sounds. Do I have a sound for this? I wish this said that she stinks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Boo. Absolute boo. I'm sad.
Bruh.
This is just bonk. Sad Mario. And this one too.
That's a huge bitch!
I barely get to use any of these. They're so good.
Oh, hell no!
What's this one?
Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, that is nasty. That is nasty. Ultra sad. Ultra sad. I don't even know if he's coming back. Man, we were about to hit the 2.5. Okay. We still got 9 minutes. And I only got a couple videos left, so that's pretty good. All right. I guess while we're just wasting time here until Jason comes back, I guess I could just pull out another question to keep a conversation going here. Let's just go into one of the bigger questions here, since it'll take a little bit more of a rant in order to fill up the gap here. Shuffle, shuffle, draw one, heart of the cards. Ooh, this is a good one. The question is, does money buy happiness? Does money buy happiness? This is a very tricky question to answer because the answer is both, right? Anybody that has not had money will clearly tell you, yes, of course, money buys happiness. Are you stupid? You've ever been poor? Being poor sucks. Not very happy. But at the same time, somebody that's had, and I wouldn't say infinite supply of money, not me personally, but the people that you talk to that are wealthy because they don't worry about money, they go, well, no, because I had all the money that I could ever do, but it didn't buy me the love of my life, or it didn't buy me more time because I missed out on the time, or whatever it is. The money can't buy the happiness that they're missing. They can buy all sorts of stuff, but there's always something that you can't buy with money. So does money buy happiness? Yes. Do you need millions of dollars to be happy? No. I'm sure there's some sort of statistic out there where it's like X amount of dollars will be optimal happiness. Optimal happiness. And after that threshold, it's probably diminishing returns. You know what I mean? But everybody that's ever had to work for money, I think we can all agree it's like, if I had more money, I'd be more happy. But at the end of the day, let's say, okay, now you just got, for some reason, you hit the lottery and you're in the same exact situation, but now you got an extra $5 million. See, I feel like I'd be like, I don't know, I'd still be pretty happy. I'd be pretty happy. And then I feel like you would be able to do the things that eventually could get you to those things that would make you happy, more the fulfilled stuff that's not intangible. Like, you know, it's like if you really want like a real spouse, well, you can't just buy one. You can't just buy one, but you had enough money, you go to enough places, you meet enough people, you have a higher chance of meeting the spouse. So it's like, it's not necessarily like prostitution. You can't just do that, but you have a higher chance of making that work. So yeah, I feel like the core of the answer is yes, but yes, money can't buy all your happiness. You'll still need something that is intangible, whether that be family, friends, time. These things money can't buy. Even though money, I guess you could buy friends with money, but they're not real friends. Remember that. They're only doing it for the money. Cheyenne said, I think as long as there's enough money to be comfortable, then it's the people I surround myself with and the memories that we make together that makes me happy. Yes, that's true. You know what I mean? It's like, if you didn't have to worry about like, man, how am I going to make this bill? Or man, oh, my car's not working. How am I going to fix this? Those are the things where it's like a drain on you, especially those pre-drains. You know, they call that anxiety when you're fearing over the future, where it's like, I know I don't have enough money, so I hope this doesn't happen. I hope I don't have to go to the hospital. I hope my car doesn't break. I hope this or that, because you're like, I just don't have enough money to deal with it. So you're already pre-stressing about something that hasn't even happened. Versus if you had enough money on the side, it'd be like, oh, okay, well, if something happens, I'll be all right. And it doesn't take like millions of dollars to do that. It would just take like, you know, if you had what they call like a rainy day savings, you know what I mean? You had a few thousand set aside, you know, obviously small car repairs, small hospital. Yes, if you, I broke all my legs and arms or whatever. Okay, that's going to be more than a few $1,000s. But I think you got more problems than that because you broke all your arms and legs. And so, yeah, I think it does take a certain threshold. But yes, are there like absolutely dirt poor people that are completely happy? Of course. There's people in huts in South America or Africa, or I don't think there's any huts in Europe. I know that sounds really racist, but it's like, you know, where the huts at? I don't know. I feel like Europe's pretty developed everywhere. But you know what I mean? Where they're completely happy. I see this one documentary on Netflix where it was like the longest living people. Can't remember what it was called, but it was basically like this guy was going around the world and trying to learn from these people, these tribes or whatever they were, these communities where they had people that lived to 90, 100, 110, 120. Like they lived a really long time, and they're like trying to figure out what they did to have such an average lifespan jump versus, you know, 70, 80 from the United States and developed countries. And for the most part, it's like they're all relatively the same at the core, where it's just like super simple life. Like they have basic yard work that everybody has to do. And, you know, they ride their horse or their donkey or whatever they take to, you know, a certain town to, you know, sell the fish that they fished for or whatever. You know, it's like they're just doing basic stuff. They're eating naturally. You know, they eat stuff they grow, you know, or stuff they catch or animals they raise. It's like, it really doesn't take a lot. And in those instances, those people are completely happy and they don't have any money. Like they just have enough money to like sustain themselves. Now, do they have electricity? No, they don't have internet and they don't have those other things. But they don't need them to be happy because they never needed them because they never had them. So they don't experience them. Versus us, now we're screwed. Now we have all these luxuries. We have AC or at least a fan. You know, we have a refrigerator. They don't even have, some of them didn't even have refrigerators. They're like, oh, we don't keep anything cold. You know, it's like you keep an animal alive until you kill it for food. You don't kill more than what you're going to eat. And then or if you're going to kill a big old cow, then you're feeding the whole community or whatever. So they didn't need to preserve things. But these are things that have softened us with happiness, right? Ooh, AC feels good. Oh, refrigerator feels good. But then at the same time, when we don't have those things, now we're miserable. Versus if we never had them, we'd probably still be all right. You know what I mean? When they didn't have these things 60 years ago or whatever it was, I don't know how long ago AC was invented, but at some point AC was invented, refrigerators, your car. Remember when they used to ride horses all the time? Like, and then they got a car. You know, some people, they'd be mad. Oh, I got to walk to work. It's like, well, 100 years ago, everybody did. Everybody was walking to work. But now I don't want to because I know what a car feels like. You know what I mean? It's like, or even if I had a horse, it's like, I don't want to walk to work. I used to have a horse. But before they had horses, I mean, I feel like they've had horses for a long time. But let's say bikes, right? Like before they had bikes, they had horses. Before they had horses, they were walking. You know, there was always a previous generation that had it harder that was all right with it because they were just that's all they knew. They didn't know any better. So they're like, this is fine. And then the next generation gets better stuff or easier access or more convenience or whatever. And then we normalize that. And then the next generation and next generation. So we've gotten pretty easy. The next generation, I think, like, you know, we have all the basic stuff, electricity, refrigerator, cars, all that stuff. I think the next generation is really like the AI conveniences where it's customization. Right now, we have to physically do everything manually, even though we have access to an infinite digital, range of possibilities. But the next generation, they won't even need to, like, you know what? Right now, I'm looking for jobs. So I have to go out and research jobs. I got to find a job. I got to make a resume. I got to apply for jobs. In the near future, AI will already know you. Maybe every person has their own individual AI. It knows everything about you. It knows every job you've ever had, all your experiences, all that stuff. You just say, yeah, I'm looking for a job. And it goes, okay, I'll go find you one. And then it builds you a resume without you asking for it. Then it finds jobs that are similar to your experiences, that are looking for what you're looking for. It applies for it on your behalf. It answers any questions that it has based on your experience. You know what I mean? When it comes to colleges, it's like not trying to figure out, oh, I got to figure out this school or that school. And it's like it looks at every bit of you and everything you like and do and all the evaluations you've ever taken. And it goes, yeah, I think you're going to be a lawyer because you do all these things that would make you happy. And so it would just know you so well. It wouldn't even have to do all this manual work we had to do to at least think about these things. That's the next level convenient thinking. That goes away. We can't even fathom that right now because we think so much. We make so many choices. But I think that's the next generation's conveniences. I don't even got to think. You remember thinking? How weird was that? Now when I come home, the apartment already knows I want it 68 degrees. And it already puts on my pot of coffee because it already knows I'm going to get a pot of coffee when I come home. And I've already had my meals pre-delivered to me that have a formulated nutrition based on what I put in for my system because the AI already knows my blood work and all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't need to think no more. We just get it all. And that actually, it sounds really cool and sounds really scary at the same time. Because it's like, man, thinking's pretty cool. I like thinking personally, but I can overthink. I think we can all agree that can also be a detriment. You know, worry, future, past, thinking about the past. What was it? The statement, it was like anxiety is, worry or negative thoughts about the future, and depression is usually negative thoughts about the past. And so, like, if you just live in the moment, I think that's just sadness. Like if you're like, well, yeah, this moment sucks too. Okay, well, that's just regular sadness. Like depression's usually like, man, all this stuff I went through or all these decisions I made or whatever. And then anxiety is like, it hasn't happened yet, but I know that I'm heading towards a bad thing or whatever. And then just regular old sadness. But we have to live in 3 states of negativity, which is depressing. And then that's just our own negativity. Then we let all these haters or all these crazy ass women bring on extra negativity to us. We already got enough of our own negativity. And then we all let these human beings add on to us left and right. And it's so funny. Like when it comes to the YouTube stuff, I love the haters because to me, it's like you went out of your way. You just had to comment. Like I'm going to pull up this guy's comment because it's just like, it cracked me up because I'm thinking you could have just watched the video and you could have been like, these guys suck. I'm moving on. And that's it. And then you just move on, right? Like you didn't have to comment. But this guy, I want to do this here. Let's click this off. He said, this is so funny. Let me bring it up here. Boop, 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 boop. Alan J. Big screen. All right. Or actually, I can do, yeah, that's fine. All right, whatever. We're going to read this comment here. This is from Aaron Cole, F9C. Doesn't even have a real username. Whatever. Anyway, this is an ad for a cringe and boring YouTube show. I was searching for something new, but this is about completely nothing. Waste of time. Waste of time. Jason replied to him, ha, gotcha. Whatever. And this was what I replied. I said, thank you for checking us out. I'm sorry we weren't able to deliver the engaging content you were searching for, but we will continue to get better with time. Come check us out again in 6 months and let us know how we're doing. Cowabunga. Let it loose. Let it loose. I appreciate it. You lubed up the algorithm, but to me it was like, you could have just went on your way. You could have been like, oh, this show sucks. I'm leaving. But he's like, I got to tell them. I got to tell them. They need to know their show sucks. They got to know it because I can't live with this. That's why I say haters gonna hate because they have to let the hate out. Or the crazy people. Why can't crazy people just be crazy all by themselves? No, they can't. They need you to experience their crazy. Because they don't want to be stuck with it by themselves. They don't want to just wallow in their craziness. They're like, somebody better be drawn down with me. If I'm going to be crazy, I need to make sure I bring as many people down as possible. If I'm going to be a hater, if I'm negative, if my life sucks, I got to make sure as many people out there around me, I got to make sure their life sucks. I got to make sure that they are as sad or they are as depressed or they are as angry as I am. Because my life is depressing me. And your show sucks. I go, it's so funny. It's so good. Because if your life was so good and you had so much to do, wouldn't you not have time to hate? You're like, I don't even got time to hate. I was going to, what did you think that took him? 2 minutes? Let's just say 2 minutes. Just to like, think of it and type it out. You know what he could have done with that 2 minutes? Could have went for a walk. Could have went and hugged his kids. Or could have went to the fridge and like, I don't know, made a cup of coffee. Like 2 minutes is pretty substantial if you think about it. That's 2 minutes of his life he'll never get back because he had to be a hater. He just had to. He just had to let us know. Everybody else has been actually pretty all right, which is pretty cool. I like this guy's comment. It was on one of the shorts where I was talking about how like the conveniences are made of soft and now we can like pee whenever we want or whatever. And I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. She said, and we were lucky to live to age 60 or 70. That was our 100. Anyone you know with any medical condition would be dead before they were even 15. Fair trade. Like that is true. That is true. So very nice. Not too many haters, which is pretty cool. Now, what's funny is the haters that are a little bit, I guess, more acceptable, they don't have to comment. They just hit the thumbs down button. We actually have I wouldn't say a high ratio of thumbs down, but like disproportionately, people like to hit the thumbs down button, which is funny. Because I think when I think of thumbs down, it's like, I strongly dislike this. I don't like this. I don't want to see it. And I'm thinking like, oh man, was it really like that bad? Whatever it was. But we have been getting a lot of likes, which has been pretty cool. Oh, I got to put it on shorts. There we go. So you see these views? 700, 700, 800, 800, 700, 700, 1,000, 1,000, 800, 700. Boom. The shorts are doing good. So realistically, if the live show never gets a bunch of views, who cares? Who cares? We got 20,000 views in a month. Who cares about the damn live show if it gets 1 billion views? I don't care about that. At the end of the day, do people watch? Do people sub from the holistic approach of the channel? That's all I care about, bro. I like the idea of a live show because then we get the live chat. Then we get to interact with you in person right here. Live, I get to read your comments and all that good stuff. Some YouTubers, they do what we're doing right now is called clip farming. They say, all right, Saturday, I'm going to sit down from noon to 3 and I'm going to record a bunch of videos. And then Sunday, I'm going to edit a bunch of videos. And then throughout the week, I'm going to release them. And all we're doing is going, yeah, instead of just sitting down and recording a bunch of video, why don't we just hit the live button and just start streaming and do the exact same thing we would have recorded videos for. And then we can clip them afterwards and then release them. So that's all we're doing, bro. That's all we're doing. And I don't care. And it makes me happy. And that's all that's all that matters. So the haters, sorry. The only two I can see that are subbed are Cheyenne and Skip. I think we have to get to at least 50 subs before it'll show me every single person that they sub. I wonder, can I message? Oh, I can't. It would have been too cool if I could like send a little message like after you sub and be going like, hey, thanks for subbing. I can only subscribe back. It doesn't count as much. I want to be able to say thanks. That'd be pretty cool, but I can't. Oh, well. Yeah, I don't think Jason's coming back. I'm going to just be honest, guys. I think he's gone. I'm not like gone like forever, but just like I think Kara. Do you think Kara's going to be like, oh, what do you guys think is going on? He said it's serious. I would just assume she's like, I'm going to kill I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. I'm going to off myself if you don't get on that show right now. Get off that show right now or I'm offing myself. It's like, bro, she has him hostage. That's blackmail. This is nuts, dude. This is nuts. It's like, it's my own personal venting. Jason can watch it later if he wants, but it's like, this is a girl in a whole nother country. I don't know how many thousands of miles away, but this is somebody that's not even, like, I'd get it if it was like, oh man, she's down the street and her crazy ass keeps popping up in my windows. I keep seeing every time I go down the street, I know she's watching me or this or that, or she keeps like circling around my job every time I go there. I'd get it. I'd be like, man, we got to step on we got to, what do they call it? Like, be on our toes. We got to be on our toes. This lady is half a world away. I'm Googling it now because I have nothing better to do. And she has an absolute stranglehold on this man. Public. Where is this place? Chechia? No. Chechia. I think I'm spelling it wrong. Czech? How do you spell that? It's because it's spelled weird. There we go. Czech Republic. How far is that? Directions. I would assume it's not going to have a flight. I'll just bring you guys with me here. Flights? Not that. What? No. Czech Republic. Anywhere. Is not a thing? Well, there's probably no direct flights, I would assume. You probably got to go from one place to another. What about that? It's like you go to Chicago. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, just say Germany. It's close enough. What does that say? I guess we just got to look. It's a 48-hour flight, 3 stops. That's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers. 2 stops, 48 hours, 42 whole days. That's absolutely nuts. I wanted to know in miles, but I guess that'll just have to do here. At least a 20-hour direct flight, but there are no direct flights because there's no airplane that has that much gas in it. But it's just like, man, this girl's an ocean away. An ocean away. I already, like, I don't know, might need it's not an intervention, because it's not like Jason's like, oh, well, I'm still with her. He's already like, look, no, can't do it. This is over. That's it. But it's like, what I've said is like, I think you just need to, that's it. Just walk away. Cold turkey. Nothing. She texts, no response. She calls, no response. I'm on the hill of a cliff, no response. Oh, but what happens if she... Oh, this makes me sound like I have no feelings. I have feelings, people. You understand this, right? I'm empathetic. For the most part. But when it comes to people like this, I guess maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. For people like this, I go, you know what? If that's what they want to do, let them do their own lives. Let them live their own life, or not live their own life. That's a decision they have to make for themselves, but they can't affect other people like this. That's crazy. Because to me, I'm thinking time. I'm always thinking time. We already talked about this earlier, the midlife crisis. I'm not saying, oh, I'm running out of time, but I'm always considering, like, what's a good investment at a time? And if I think something's not going to work out in X amount of future or whatever, I go, well, I'm going to stop doing that right now. I don't want to waste any more time. So, like, for me, I'd be thinking, like, oh, man, if I had some crazy-ass ex-girlfriend and she was like, oh, man, but I'm going to be crazy, like, all the time, and I'm going to be, like, doing this and that, I'd be like, oh, man, how much time I'm going to waste, like, an hour a day. Or even if it was an hour a week, I'd be like, man, an hour a week? 52 weeks, 52 hours? That's like 2.5 days of my life that I'll never get back, just trying to prevent a crazy girl from offing herself? Bro, that ain't my decision. It's hers. Let her go. I'm not saying, like, oh, let her go off. I don't know. It seems like really bad. I'm not trying to be really bad, but it's like, bro, if somebody's going to off themselves, what are you going to do? Hold their hand forever? Forever and ever? Somebody you don't want to be with? But see, I think that's the problem, is like his heart, he has a heart, had a relationship, obviously loved her, you know what I mean? So there's that. Versus if it was some random person, you and me both know, if it was some random person, you wouldn't give a shit. If some rando, you'd give a crap as in, like, they're a human and why are they sad like that, and in instances like that. But if it was some random human on the street was trying to hold you hostage by saying, if you do X, I'm offing myself. If you do this, I'm offing myself. If you don't do this, I'm offing myself. You'd be like, yeah, go. Bye-bye. Goodbye. You would do that. The only reason why she knows she can get away with this is because he cares about her. And that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. And it's like, for how long? How much time? How much time is she going to pull, drain, waste? It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Women. Am I right, women? Am I right? If she does something stupid, that's her decision. He's not making her do anything. He's not forcing her. Doing the stuff she does, that's on her and alone and not him. It's so true. It's so absolutely true. You cannot control. Me and my dad were talking about this the other day. Or it was sort of like heated, but it's like, at the end of the day, you can't control anyone else. It doesn't matter what you do to poke and prod. Yes, okay, sure. You had some part in the decision that was made leading up to it, but at the end of the day, a decision is made from a sentient human being. Own up to your own decisions. And if that decision is to go bye-bye, you can't put that on nobody else. Even if some people deserve the blame, you can feel bad, and the people around you that, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, now why did you push my person to that point? Yes, I understand the anger and the sadness and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, that's still a decision you made. That's it. That's it. We all got to live with our own decisions. And I'm really sad that this is just something that keeps coming up, bro. And the craziest part is, like, what drives her the absolute bonkers. You would it would be reasonable if there was like reasonable things to be crazy about. You know, some women are crazy because you have like legit concern to be crazy. And even though it doesn't sound like that, but like she's absolutely bonkers about Cheyenne. Just bonkers. Just like Cheyenne, just like, oh, Cheyenne, oh. And it's like, you are all digital people. Like Cheyenne has never physically met you or Jason. And that is something that you lost it all for some digital person. I mean, I've met Cheyenne in person, but like, you know, to Jason and to Carol, Cheyenne could have been not real. For all we know, she could have been AI. Or Cheyenne could have been a dude. They could be going all over this, over somebody that could possibly be not real. Because they've never met in real life. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? All of this? Women. Not all women. Just like not all guys. But probably most guys and probably most women. Stereotypes are stereotypes for reasons. Oh, man. I'm really upset about this. I'm just going to end the show because he's never coming back. He's just never coming back. I understand to an extent why she doesn't like me. I don't know. Like I said, it'd make more sense. It was like, oh, okay, well, you know, because you guys borked and then this or that, and then you went over there and then whatever. You know, it's like, this is all fugazi. That's all. It's nothing. It's fairy dust. It's made up. This is all intangible. This is all intangible bullshit. Or let's say you live down the street and she was bonkers. She's like, man, I just know Cheyenne's over his house right now. Yeah, I know she's right down the street. Or I know when he says he goes to work, he actually goes to her house. That wouldn't even be unreasonable crazy. Still crazy, but not unreasonable crazy. This is unreasonable crazy. We have a girl in an entirely different continent across the Atlantic Ocean, absolutely bonkers about a girl that's in several states away from a dude that's thousands of miles from her. This is it. But you know what that really tells you? It's not necessarily this specific situation. Do you think this is it? This is the only reason why she's crazy? No. She's always been crazy. She would have been crazy about anything else. She would have been crazy about some local dude she was dating. And the local dude went to a bar one day and some girl said, nice haircut. And he was like, oh, thanks. And she's like, oh, thanks? Oh, really? What are you guys, effing? Oh, that's crazy. Give me your phone. You know what? I want to see it. Crazy's going to do crazy. She didn't just wake up one day. It's like, I'm going to be crazy. She's always been crazy. That's just it. That's just it. It doesn't matter this situation, that situation. That's what I was trying to tell Jason. It's like some people are just broke. They're just broken. There is no fixing them. There isn't. You think it's like mass murderers. Well, it's like, okay, I get it. If somebody killed one person, could be an accident. Could be self-defense. Maybe it was purposeful, but after they did it, they were like, oh man, I'm messed up. I can't believe I did that. So you're like, okay, there could be reform. Mass murderer. Killed 20 people. Chopped them up and all that crazy stuff, right? Broken. No fixie. Throw them in the chair. They're goners. Somebody that's like, man, we both got drunk and I took a girl home and, and I didn't know what was going on. Next thing you know, we did it. And then the next day she regretted it and whatever. And it's like, okay, probably shouldn't have done that, whatever. Reform. Guy that diddles babies. No reform. Broken. No fixie. No fixie. There are some humans that are either broken or evil. And I'd say evil, that's a state of being broke as well. There's no fixing it. That's it. They just are who they are. And it sucks that sometimes they have a nice facade. They put on a nice mask for a little while. They get close. They allow you to open their heart, and they open your heart, and they let you in your inner circle, and then you develop feelings, and the next thing you know, they go, oh, mask off. Here I am, crazy as ever. And now you start to feel bad. Because now you've developed something. But honestly, it's just like the candy man in the van. If the guy in the van pulled up and he was like, hey little kid, I'm going to like cut up your toes. Get in this van. Who's getting in the van? Nobody's getting in the van. And say, oh, hey, little kid, I got puppies. Hey, little kid, I got a bag of candy in here. Come on in. You think the crazy people are like, I'm crazy right off the bat? No. I'm totally normal. I'm actually chill and fun. I'm going to make you happy. All right, are you comfortable now? I'm actually crazy. I'm actually going to just make you miserable. If they did it off the bat, you wouldn't develop a relationship with them. Crazy knows what crazy is doing. That's what drives me absolutely nuts. It's because sometimes he's like, oh man, she wasn't always like this. It was a facade. It was a facade. She was always like this. And that's what's Sam. And I think that's what upsets him most. Because, Jason's a smart guy. He is. He's a smart dude. And I think that probably gets to him. Where he's like, man, I can't believe I let somebody play me. Shit, we all get played. We all get played. The best of us get played. I'm sure Albert Einstein got played. Newton probably got played. One way or another, especially with women. And with women, they're like, especially with dudes. I know out there, they're like, it's not just women. Yes, I know. Dudes do it too. Oh, I'm a super nice guy. I'm super prim and proper. Let me I got in your pants. Never mind. Get away from me. I'm ghosting you. Or whatever it is. You know what I mean? All the humans are flawed, errant creatures. Like they're not good. Everybody thinks they're good. They're just varying degrees of bad. Some are just a little baby bit bad. Just a little bit bad. And I'd say that's very few and far between. Like maybe Mother Teresa was like just a little bit bad. But to say she's never done anything bad in her life, that's a lie. And then some people are just like wickedly bad. I mean, like we're talking Osama bin Laden or, stuff like that. Wicked. They're just, ooh, I gotta do this. But the scale is bad to worst. There are no good. None of us are good. If anyone says out there, I am good, that person is lying. I'm not quoting. There's a quote in the Bible where it's like, basically that's it. I'm paraphrasing here, but none of us, even from early ages, think of little kids. And yes, kids have this innocence to them because they don't understand. So they're not held accountable for it. But a kid as young as 2 can start lying. They can lie. They can cheat. They can steal. The fact that human beings have the capacity at all to do evil is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But we go, oh, they're little kids. They don't know better. That's the crazier part. It's like breathing. They don't even know how to be a real human being yet, but they know how to lie. They know how to say, oh, no, I didn't take the cookie. They don't know why it's bad, but they have the ability to do it. Nuts. Humans. Crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Kirby Sock Vacation. I can't say that on the air. I feel like I couldn't say half of this stuff on the air. I'm getting off. That's it. We've reached 3-hour threshold. And honestly, think of that. Because the last half hour was just me rambling, trying to wait for Jason. We're doing much better now. See? 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. Next week, look forward to a 2-hour. I know that sounds bad. You look forward to less. But look forward to a 2-hour episode because I had it locked in today. Circumstances didn't allow it. But next week, we're down to 2. And I'm going to get this boy down to an hour and a half. In and out. In and out. That's what it's all about. Cheyenne, thank you for being here. My father, thank you for being here. The lurkers, thank you for being here. Caro, I've already said my piece to you, truly from the bottom of my heart. Fuck you. You are an awful, horrible, wicked, manipulative, lying, deceiving bitch. And, man, I really hope you let my boy go. I will continue to pray for his protection from you. And I serve the one true living God. He's not letting you do what you think you're going to do. No, sorry, bro. We got the golden dome, but it's in our souls. Caro, that's for you. Everybody else, good day. I'm out this boy. See ya next week. I'm sorry, everyone. The show's over, but we thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We're out of here.
You what?
Good day.
Are you ready?
That was legitness. Yeah, it was, huh?